Is that like a Latin Kings gang sign on top of
Nah,
it?
man, that's the Sun Devils.
Sun
Oh,
Devils, ASU, man, ASU. You're, yeah. Come on.
It's kind of funny though, because when I was helping out my buddy do some security last year at a church thing, and I was like wearing that, I'm like, I don't know, because they kept looking at it. Yeah, because
the trident.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the trident could also be what was that? Poseidon?
Yeah.
Be like, I'm into Greek mythology, man. It's got nothing to do with Satan. Not that life.
Boom.
Well, yesterday we were talking, and we wanted to get you on Palm Sunday.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me.
And
but
we thought that would have been a perfect fit for it, but we ended up running into some issues. But I thought that would have been hilarious.
Introduce your guest here.
All right, well, we'll introduce our guest. We have Roscoe Van Damme, and we have, of course, Aaron Agoza again.
Heck, I know.
Somehow this asshole just keeps coming right back on the screen every time.
I'm bored. The quarantine crap. Need something to do. I really just want the Jamie role. I really want to be in the background, but you don't have enough guests right now.
No, we don't. I mean, we have some though coming up tomorrow where he wants to listen in somehow and still feed me information as we go through it. And it's like, okay, well then great, because then someone's gonna see you that are on there and they're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, hey, how's it going, Arian? Yeah, okay.
He's gonna be the proverbial guy on the couch.
Yeah, well, as I said, I want to be the Jamie. I just want to be the guy in the background.
The casting couch, yeah, maybe.
Hey, Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, but RVD.
Yeah, what are you guys drinking?
I got the Makers on the rocks as usual.
I'm drinking Cazadores Blanco.
Okay, all right. There it is. And
what you got?
I got. Are you ready for this? I got some Yellowtail Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio. All right.
Oh yeah, we'll finish that whole bottle tonight. Some Australian wine. That's who this ad is. That's who this podcast is being brought to you by.
Oh, Australian wine. That's when you've made it, baby.
Yellowtail.
Yellowtail.
That would be a nice. Hey, that would be a nice addition to it. That'd be a nice addition to say that in the beginning. Oh, This ad is brought to you by Polish TV company.
That's a real company. It's a legit company, by the way.
Yes, najlepszy.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh God.
You don't get super hungover from drinking wine?
So all right, so I usually do. Depends on how much I drink of it. I usually try to dilute it with a little bit of ice all the time, just so I can drink more of it, kind of. But yeah, after a while, you start to get a little bubbly, a little weird. You start to get a little giggly, and then
you hit that. Happens with alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, and then that next morning is never fun.
No.
I get it from red wine. Red wine gives me.
Yeah. And you don't even have to drink a whole. I don't have to drink a whole lot of red wine to get, messed up for it the next day.
No,
I might not be super drunk, but there's something about that stuff. It just sucks all the water out of you.
Yeah, it's usually 2 or 3 glasses, and I feel like shit.
Well, one time we were in Vegas, and it was like our first night in Vegas. We're walking down the side by Bellagio, Aaron and I go, hey, I can't breathe. My throat hurts. I need something to drink. I need something now, right? And we're outside the casino. He goes, I got some bourbon. Here you go. I go, yeah, cool. It's a little, a little watered down. I'm thinking, all right, here we go. Cool. Yeah, chill my throat a little bit. That was the worst decision of my life. You ever sit there when you don't drink bourbon? I don't drink bourbon, A, and then B, my throat's hurting. I take a sip of that, and it's like, oh God, I'm gonna die today. This is it. There's no more of this vacation. But I don't know how you drink the bourbon.
It's a real man's drink, so it's all right. Yeah, I wasn't drinking when I was your age anyway.
See that facial hair you got growing? That's because of that bourbon you drank.
Oh yeah, that's right here. It's mustache. Yeah. That's one day's growth right there.
Yeah, but you're not a hard liquor guy at all?
No, I am. I like vodka.
Oh, okay, just not bourbon, right?
Yeah, no bourbon. I like vodka though. I could drink vodka all day. If I could, but
yeah, but not on the rocks though.
Actually.
You do? You like on the rocks?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But but I'm careful what I put into it though. I don't mix sugary shit to it. I don't do the classic Waldo drink where I do lemonade and vodka. I hate doing that because that's too sugary. That's when I get hung over from that.
Well,
stuff.
yeah, that's what's gonna give you the hangover.
Well, that's
So-
also the sneaky shit. You know, you pound it down like 30 of those because it's going down so smooth because the sugary stuff's covering it up everything. I think that's why I like going on the rocks here because I kind of know where I'm tasting. I'm like, all right.
Right,
You have
that's
to
where
have
I'm
like,
at, on the
yeah.
tequila on the rocks.
I didn't start drinking on the rocks though. I think in my late 20s though, because I still did a lot of mixed stuff before that.
So when you got married, you just started going, oh, all right, let's try to end this quicker than I can.
Yeah,
It's actually Mad Men. Mad Men's what got me hooked on it. Something about those dudes just sitting in their office in those killer suits, rocking like bourbon and smoking cigarettes. I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Let's start doing that hand in hand. Oh,
that's what you could have been doing for the lockdown, man. Just wear a suit all day, drinking
Right.
bourbon, smoking cigarettes, and making like womanizing comments.
Right. Well, then I do that anyway. But I would have to shower then every single day. Do the hair, put the suit on. That's a lot of extra work. I don't want to do all that bullshit. So, how's the open road?
Yeah, how is it?
It's, you know what, like, it was pretty nice, especially when this COVID-19 business started, because I was pretty insulated from it. Like, if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't even know anything is going on until the truck stops taking like certain measures for sanitation and this and that. That's what tipped me off. But I mean, I like it. I imagine like working a 9-to-5 job in some cubicle, and I think that'd be the most depressing thing ever. I mean, like any job, it's got its drawbacks and its own set of bullshit that comes along with it, but it definitely makes it worth it.
Yeah.
So you said sanitary stuff. What's going on with the sanitary stuff? What are you talking about?
Oh, like the truck stops, like it's kind of like a convenience store. There's like a self-serve area where you could get hot dogs, you could get drinks, you could get coffee. And what they did was like they blocked all those things off and made it full service. So there's one employee that deals with all of that rather than having, 25 different smelly truckers in there at one time.
Okay. Yeah, see, we got hit over here by us in our complex. We have 3 people with the ceviche, with the COVID-19. Yeah, so we got the coronavirus. But you should hear how they got it. So they sent out an email prior to it. They said, "Oh, we're gonna close all these amenities. We're gonna keep the pool open." Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Not really. And then, sure enough, a week after that, those 3 people came out and said, "Yep, we are we're sick. We have the virus and everything." And they're going, "Okay, well, where were you?" On like the complex, and they said, "Oh, we were at the pool that weekend. That you left it open." And I go, "Oh yeah." So who's getting fired? Who's getting fired? That's what I want to know. Who's getting fired for not closing that? Yeah. Yeah, I just couldn't believe it though. When they said that, I remember talking to Aaron about it. I go, "Are you serious? Like they're leaving the pool open for people to go in, like a cesspool as it is."
Yeah, he gives me like the whole list of everything that's open or everything that's closing down. I'm like, okay, that's good, it's good. And but we're leaving the pool open. I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, even when you look at everybody else's measures that they're taking, to me they seem more like feel-good measures because they're forcing businesses to close, right? No matter if you're like a vape shop or a bike shop or salon, whatever. But then you have the grocery stores open where the highest number of people concentrate to. So it seems like it just negates everything else you're doing because, the bike shop has to close because he might have 4 customers in there a day, but Target, Walmart, and grocery stores are fine, and they're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of people in there. So it's like, I don't see how you're helping closing the small shops.
Yeah, I get some of it. Like, I get you got to close. You want to close to keep people away so it stops the spread, right? You need food, so grocery stores have to be open. I have noticed though more of them are limiting how people go in. There's lines. I saw that today. Even at Trader Joe's, there was obviously I went out to get more booze because that was essential as fuck.
Right.
So I'm watching people at Trader Joe's and there was a line outside. And they all keep them all 6 feet apart, and I get why they're closing all this other shit down. It makes sense what they're trying to do. At the same time, it does suck for a lot of people that are out of work. I mean, it's a really crazy time in the world, not just our country, but the whole world.
So over here, I mean, first thing they closed were pretty much the bars right away, which makes me laugh though, because some of these bars will have 3 people in it on like a Friday night. And it's like, well, Why can't we keep that open? Like, because obviously everyone's going to run in there on a Friday night going, oh, all right, this place is still open. Let's go drink here. You know, obviously I would have done it. I think 4 weeks ago, I probably would have done it. If I would have known one bar was open down the street, probably would have ran over there one of those nights and said, yep, let's go. Let's drink. Like, why not? What else we have to do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right. If there's one last bar open, that's where everybody's going to cram into. But I think if you lubricate yourself enough with alcohol, it probably keeps the COVIDs away. Don't quote me on that. It's just a guess. That's what as soon as I got home off the road, I've kept a steady diet of alcohol and
alcohol. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. It's booze kills things, right? That's how that works.
Well, that's what they said. I saw the study for it. It said vodka kills. If you have a study of vodka, or it was for millennials. It was a meme. It was if you've ever eaten ass, you're clean. You're never gonna get any symptoms. If you drink more than the average human being a day, you're good. And if you've ever complained about the politics that you never voted on, you're okay as well.
You're okay. Oh, politics. So how do you think our fearless leader's doing?
I think he's no better or worse than anybody else would do. I mean, he started off with, brushing it off and saying, "Oh, we got it under control." But I mean, that's just typical Donald Trump, right? He's not the kind of guy that's gonna be like, I don't know what the hell's going on. He's got to play it cool, and I get it. But anybody saying, "Oh, we need Obama back," or "We need this or that," because they'd be doing so much better, I highly doubt it. I mean, they say, like, I've asked people when they claimed, "Oh, I wish Obama was in charge." Like, okay, well, how would that be better? And the answer is just like,
there's none.
Obviously, if you think it, there's got to be some kind of plan behind it, not just a plain statement of, "Oh, we need this person in charge." So I don't think Trump's doing any better or worse than anybody else would have done.
I like what he said though with the man. I haven't watched them. Never watched them at all. I always heard about him, but never watched any of his like conferences or anything like that, the press conferences. And I started watching some of them, and my goodness, I've never seen a single person before when they get asked a question to not answer that question right away. He kind of dodges around that question for about 2 minutes. Then he kind of finally puts something into it, and then he criticizes something else. And I've never seen that before. And then
welcome to politics, man. That's what all politics is.
Yeah, he just beats around the bush, just dodges this, that way, changes it. Half the time, I'm like, what the fuck was just being said? I'm totally lost now.
Yeah, you forget the question that was even being asked.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, wait.
Yeah,
well, my thing, too, is, though, have you ever heard him apologize? Like, ever?
No.
Okay. Because
I don't know. What you're freezing up over there.
Who is?
You are.
I am.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah. All right. Cool. But no. I thought it was funny too what he said too. He goes, yeah, we recommend that all civilians wear masks everywhere they go. But personally, I won't be wearing that because I don't think it's important to me.
Yeah. It's that brings me to Chicago's mayor, Lori Lightfoot. Did you hear about what happened today? Or I think it happened yesterday. But so she posted. There's a picture that was posted. I think with her yesterday. It might have been yesterday, where she's with her hairstylist and just got a haircut, like having a haircut, and having a hug with him afterwards or whatever, right next to it. So the press is just lighting her up. It's like, so you got a haircut today? It's like, well, I'm a public figure, so I need to, keep it trimmed. I needed a haircut, and he wore gloves and a mask. So now everyone that's like in the beauty salon is like, oh, really? so if we put masks and gloves on, we can go do the same shit.
Right.
It's like, I get it. She was so strict about this, and that. And I get it. But at the same time, like, dude, just grow your hair out. Throw it, baby. All right, I haven't cut my shit in over a month.
Well, I'm shocked to hear that she even does have a stylist because she looks like the crackhead lady outside of 7-Eleven at 3 a.m. asking you for change or offering to blow you or something like that for a few bucks. But yeah, that's a political way is do as I say, not do as I do.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same line I give to my kid like every day.
Well, you've seen the memes with her too, right? You've seen the memes how she's
Yeah.
standing. It shows like the police car sitting there and she's standing behind it and she's just staring with her eyes bulging out.
Yeah, like where are you guys going?
Those are pretty
I saw
good.
the memes about her tailor because I guess she wears pants that are 3 times too big for her.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah.
Actually, I have a clip recorded somewhere on my DVR. They're interviewing somebody local about that, and something she did, like she fired whatever or something like that, and this guy, and like neighbor's like, that's the best thing ever happened to, besides that tailor she fired or some shit. He was just knocking her. Like I don't know the exact line up, but I gotta pull that up later. But I'll tell you guys about that one later. It was too funny. I know I slaughtered that. It's not even funny the way I said it. But
And that goes back to the point that she's talking. She's a public figure. She needs to have her hair done and look good. It's like, yeah, but look what you're wearing. I mean, you look like you stole that clothes from somebody, and they were a lot larger than you.
Totally unprofessional.
She's bringing back the MC Hammer pants.
Yeah,
That's exactly what we need at a time like this. MC Hammer pants. I'll buy a pair. I'll wear that shit. I don't care.
Absolutely.
I don't have any standards. I don't have any dignity. Why not?
I think I have a pair of sweatpants that big still.
There you go.
Man, he has slipped through that cigar like crazy.
Oh, dude, it's a Maker's one too. So Maker's flavored. I like to dip it a little bit into the Maker's here. So
He dips the hot end into there, and he's like,
like a real pole.
He sucks right out of like a straw.
Hey,
So,
why does it go out every time? What the fuck?
Oh, God.
But you know who could have really handled all this COVID-19 business a lot better? Joseph Stalin, because he would have just sent everybody to the gulag and we'd all be just dying in the gulag. But hey, man, everybody died from starvation, the disease, but not COVID-19.
Well, look at Russia right now. Like, we're at least what they're reporting, almost no cases. Well, they have some. It's just minimal. Like I was looking at that live map, and like you look at Russia, and it's like this one little dot, this giant fucking country.
Well, the same way China has no new reported cases, and
right, sure, right.
They're high. They got to be hiding some shit for sure, right?
Oh, it's China.
They are.
China.
You know, every country's going to want to put itself in the best possible light, but it's like Russia and China. Yeah, I mean, they're notorious for lying about just about everything. Not that the United States isn't, but they're on a whole new level, right? So with Russia saying they don't have that many cases, I mean, it's either everybody's completely like soaked themselves in vodka and that's why, or Vladimir Putin made COVID-19 illegal and punishable by gulag. I don't know, but I certainly don't believe China and Russia when they say we got no new cases, and because China started off this by lying, saying there's like minimal human-to-human transmission.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, okay, well, no problem. And look where we are now, just because some guy got hungry and wanted to eat a bat, supposedly.
Which is crazy because I watched the movie Contagion the other day, and that is like literally, like, it's so identical to like what's going on here, except for their apocalypse looks a lot more fun. There's actually rioting and looting going on, like all this stuff. Come on. I think that's where people also got some of this shit too from. Say again?
I think you guys breaking up.
Yeah, he broke up off of there.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Nothing you just said came through though, but it's all right.
Probably not important.
We got the point. You watched the fucking movie and it looked cool.
Yeah,
he
a lot better than reality.
He pretty much said, "I wish I could loot like them." That's all he was saying.
Yeah.
See, I got an idea though, because like everybody's like, oh, we wanted zombie apocalypse. What if this is the zombie virus, but it's not the way it is in Hollywood, right? Because reality never matches Hollywood. So like, the people that died, they died, whatever. But then you got the people that got it and got better, and 6 months later, what if they turn? And nobody's expecting that. They're like, cases are on the decline, everything's gonna be fine, and all of a sudden we got hordes of zombies.
Well, one can only wish, but that's not gonna fucking happen. We damn well know it, because Hollywood always Makes it seem a lot cooler.
And to take that point a little bit further, you know how in Hollywood you get bit by a zombie and that's how they transmit or you get blood on you. But these zombies, they sexually assault you and that's how it gets transmitted.
You're getting raped by zombies.
So as the COVID infection rate's going down, the rape cases are going up.
Yeah, and everybody's like, what's going on, right? And then they find out that the zombies are raping everybody. Like, imagine like a movie scene, right? You got one lone guy, okay? He's running down the road. He's got a horde of 1,000 zombies behind him. Now, what's scary is that, okay, if I get bit, I turn. But this guy knows if these things catch me, I'm getting raped by 1,000 zombies.
Hell of a gang rape.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's the real life zombie apocalypse right there.
Fuck. I never thought about it like that. That's some deep shit. That's some deep shit. I love it.
I thought about it long and hard, like earlier when I was taking a shower. I was like, what if?
Roscoe's got some time to think about shit in that truck.
Yeah.
That's all I do when I'm driving down the road. Usually I'll be listening to podcasts or music or an audiobook, but other times I just turn everything off and I just let my mind go where it wants, you know, and I get some pretty colorful ideas. And then I share them on my channel.
Yeah, I like it. Hey, whatever floats your boat, man. Think about it. I always sit there. Oh, okay, well, see, but I don't think that deep into it. Instead, I think more like, yeah, you know, it'd be kind of cool to be like the richest man in the world and stuff, but I don't think about zombies raping people, so.
He's very creative.
Yeah, very creative. I'm thinking about how to get rich tomorrow. You're like, well, this is what can happen in 6 months, though, so.
Yeah. Well, see, my thought.
Fucked by zombies.
I'll see, well, because that's scary, right?
Yeah, that's actually, I think, worse than getting my brains eaten out is getting butt fucked by
Yeah, that'd be worse than getting bit. Like, okay, you get bit, you turn, you know, whatever. But imagine like this ordeal is going to last like 4 or 5 hours, right? But my thoughts start out normal. Like I'll start off with thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool to be rich, right? And then I think, what would I do with that money? And then I get some crazy idea, and that idea goes into something else. And before I know it, I'm thinking about getting raped by zombies.
The middle part you're missing is he's like, I'll get rich. I'm going to open up a lab, come up with this disease and virus that creates, you know, zombies that rape people. I think that's where you really go with it. I think we're skipping that part out.
I'm not going to say that because if it happens, I'm like, oh, I remember that guy saying it, and he's the one that's responsible. Maybe I will be. I don't know. But I certainly don't want people knowing that.
Oh, my goodness.
It was just an idea. It was a joke.
Good shit.
Oh, God.
Have intelligence for that?
Oh, God. Well.
So, all right, besides raping zombies, that's great. Wow. So, what's your new routes now, man? You've been coast to coast for a long time, right?
Yeah, I'm still more or less coast to coast. But I was more all over the map when I was driving with the other company doing the food delivery and all that. But now with this, I'm just like in more specific areas. Like I barely go to the East Coast now, which I'm thankful for because it sucks. But I do go to a lot of different places I never like delivered to before, like Montana and Idaho and such like that, Nevada. But I'm still pretty much all over the map. All 48.
Okay, so all right, let me ask you this. So coming from, let's see, where did we come from? We came straight south from Colorado. Where did we go? Aaron, did we go through New Mexico?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so through New Mexico and then like that northeastern part of Arizona. You ever been through those mountains where it's like damn near straight down all the way through like Prescott, all the way in? You ever been through those?
No, like those roads are way too treacherous for a semi truck. They might even be banned on there, so I've never been through those parts. But I've been on a lot of crazy roads. Like I recently just posted on my Facebook page a dash cam video I took. It's like a time lapse going through some mountains in Utah, and it's this tiny little 2-lane road. going up to the mountains. It gets to elevation like 9,100 feet, and then it's all the way down pretty much. Twisty, turny,
Yeah.
cars
Yeah.
coming around the bend.
Oh yeah. That's how it was when we were coming out of the first time. Southern Utah into northern Arizona, up there. So you're going, and the speed limit says 75. There's no lights anywhere, and it's a 2-lane, one going this way, one coming this way. And I'm sitting there in my Charger going like 35. Someone might be, two people in the car might be a little high with me. I don't know what's going on. We're stupid. We're going too. I feel like I'm going 100 miles an hour. I'm doing 35. All of a sudden, this car's passing me like on the turn. I'm like, I don't know where the hell I'm at right now. But when we were coming through that mountain with Arian driving, it was hilarious because we have windows up, we're clam baking the car with the cigarette smell and the ashtray and the one of those like perfect smokeless ashtrays in the cup holder.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and he's doing like 100 miles an hour down down the mountain, and I'm sitting there going, I'm hitting the whole oh shit bar. I'm like, oh god,
that shit was fun.
Like, this is where it ends right here. This is where we're done. We're done after this. Like we're flying off the edge of this for sure.
That was a real good time.
Those are brilliant roads, though. But yeah, there's so many with the semi-truck that I just can't go on because the twists might be too much, and the truck off tracks with the trailer. So, but I mean, yeah, there's a lot of crazy roads I do go on.
Have you ever found yourself? I've always wanted to see it. I never wanted to see it because I don't think it would be that cool for the person driving the semi-truck or for me to see it either. But those off ones where where like if you're going too quick.
Yeah, the escape. Yeah.
Have you ever gone up one of those or seen going up one of those? So that's pretty much just for someone that's going. Really?
Yeah.
Come on, give me some exciting shit.
I've never seen it. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. I never had to use one. As long as you know what you're doing, you're never going to need to use one. But you got these, guys that fly down the mountain way too fast. They cook their brakes. And it doesn't take much to cook your brakes. So once they're cooked, the only thing that's going to slow you down is that escape ramp.
Yeah.
The
cliff, yeah.
when you hit the bottom of the cliff.
Pretty much you take your pick. Do I go left or do I go right? Do I want to end it today or do I want to maybe survive? Let's see.
Right. You take it slow down the mountain and you'll get down just fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want crazy stories, I mean, I've had a fair share of those. This is probably back like 2015. I was going up I-75 in Kentucky, and I'm just cruising along, and all of a sudden there's like a whole line of cops that blow past, but there was like a car in front of them. So I'm like, oh shit, that was a high-speed chase. That's awesome. And then they there was cars all around me, but in front it was an open area. So they pit maneuver this guy, right? And so he slams against the median. The cops surround everything. They're, I don't know how far away I was, man. It was less than a quarter mile from there, but we could still hear the police yelling, screaming, all that. And all of a sudden, this guy pops out of his car, like he pulls his arm around like he's going to shoot. And all you hear is like pop, 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 pop. And they just lit this guy up right on the interstate.
Oh, shit.
That's what I see. Dude, that's what we wanted. We wanted some stories. All right.
That's crazy.
There you go. Yeah, that was like 2015. Yeah.
Wow. Man, getting lit up on the highway.
Unfortunately, that was before I had a dash cam, but even then, I don't know how well it would have caught it.
You get a nice insurance break on that too? Do you have one of those?
Not that I know of. But it's
just for fun.
It's not. Well, it's for fun, sure, but it's also to help cover my ass because if cars do a lot of stupid shit on the road, and if I end up killing somebody, I want video evidence that they died because they're an idiot, not because of something I did. Because once a semi-truck's involved, that's when the ambulance chasers jump all over that.
Yeah.
And they want to sue.
Yeah, you get that Tracy Morgan money.
Yeah.
I want to get hit by a truck so bad.
But you got to pick the right truck, though.
Yeah, Walmart or Target truck, something like that.
Walmart, Target,
Amazon.
Look for Werner, JB Hunt, CR England. Those are the big companies. They got cash.
Come on. Hit me.
Well, Take notes, man.
we had actually someone on campus here get hit by one of the buses on campus.
Oh snap!
Yeah, she got hit. She was crossing, and it's like so where I get picked up every day, or I'm not used to, because we have like a free shuttle to and from our complex over here, and so we're sitting there waiting, And over there, I didn't see it, but we heard about it. It was like happened that day, later that day actually. And she was walking across the street or something like that. And it's a very populated area. It's a 4-way stop, a lot of buses in and out, a lot of big like coach buses, plus like the pace buses and the orbits and whatever all their bullshit there is. And the guy in the orbit bus just made the turn a little too tight and just clipped her, I guess, right on the. She was on the sidewalk, and like she was fine. I guess she was like fine. She like I only had a couple of scratches or something like that. But everyone was tweeting at her. They're like, "Oh, free tuition." I go, it don't work like that. Like, there's a camera somewhere on that campus going, you were standing on the edge of the thing too much, and the guy already made his turn. You're screwed.
I would still sue. Fuck it.
Well, I've seen it.
But that's if that happens, the last thing you want to do is say, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. No, man, you're like, "Oh, my neck, oh, my back, oh Lord have mercy."
Right. You take that ambulance ride too. Always take that ambulance ride.
Take the ambulance ride. Tell them everything hurts. You feel some leaking by your genital area. You don't know what that is.
You need to get paid.
That's how you get paid, man. You don't say, "Oh, I'm okay." No. That's who's got money.
Oh yeah. Talk about some money for sure. They got they canceled because of the COVID-19 too. They canceled the May graduation ceremonies.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, let's give our seniors what they deserve." No, fuck you. They said in the email, it says they have a virtual one. That means they'll throw your picture up on there and you get 1 cent in the mail. And for a little consolation prize for you, you can go in December too and walk if that's really that important to you. The fuck, like, what do you mean change? Like what? So even when this is going on, the president of the university is gonna say, "Oh yeah, let's you know what? Screw it. Let's host one anyways. Why not?" And it's like, well, what? Like, I guarantee these seniors. Like, I have a senior in my house. He said, I mean, after 7 years of school, it would have been cool to walk across the stage, but I don't know, whatever.
7 years.
I go, yeah.
But is that what you went to college for? Just to walk across the stage? You get your, diploma, whatever. You got your degree and get the hell out of there. You
partied your ass off. You had fun, right?
Well, I guess some people are like sentimental about that sort of thing. I just want to get it over with.
So we told him we found an old cap from a cap and gown in our house from one of the old guys that used to work here. And I told him, I go, "Look, man, the day you're supposed to graduate, we'll put that on you. We'll play some music. We'll have you walk down the stairs, dress up for yourself. And I'll even let you know to put the tassel the other side or something like that."
Oh, that'd be good.
And he's like, "I don't care really." He's like, "It doesn't really affect me that much." I don't know if it would affect me either. You know what I mean? I don't think I'd be that affected about
it. Just get your degree and get out of there.
Some people are saying, I get some people are sentimental about that sort of thing. I just personally wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Pageantry and nuance. It's like, make some money now, man, because we know you're broke.
I gotta say though, that my basic training one though, that graduation I cared about because the shit was over. That's that was like that ceremony. I'm like, oh, thank God this crap is over. That's the only one I actually cared about walking across the stage for. I was like, Jesus.
Did everyone show up for you or no?
My parents and our grandparents did, and the girl I was dating at the time. I had a nice little crowd.
That's why I'm still trying to have it where when I graduate, we'll throw a big ass party. Why not? I mean, because everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa!" Like no one thought Kyle was gonna do this. Like, let's do have a party. All right,
that's true.
For sure. Like
legit.
Man, if you would have looked at where he was 3 years ago, he was hanging out with the Aryan too much. We were all nervous.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That go to community college is like this kid's not going anywhere. All right. Oh man.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Anyways.
I'm getting my BA and BS.
BA, that's a good degree.
No, I'm doing
coming handy throughout life.
Communication. So pretty much a BA and BS, but
using this shitty podcast as a resume, basically.
Yeah, so I want to be able to take about 7 minutes out of this entire podcast of one of these times where I don't, drop an F-bomb or someone else doesn't say anything bad, and it's a good amount of. I think when it's a good rant by me. I think when I don't say that, when I use filler words or like or any of that bullshit, and I can have a really good rant for about 5 or 6 minutes plus some responses here and there. I'll be able to take that and then throw that on my resume, so then I can apply. But I got like an email the other day, and the company that keeps hitting me up, they had to let go of a bunch of people like in Chicago, and it's like, all right, well, that's gonna stunt me for a little while there. Like, cool.
You got time. This is all going to come back. And now you saying that you're going to take little clips, I just realized you're probably going to have to record like a couple thousand of these shitty episodes to get like a few minutes of solid quality.
Yeah, so I don't. So Aaron's not saying shit, and I'm not saying fuck you. You know what I mean?
Fuck, shit, fuck.
Yeah,
Boom, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so far, I think other than the zombie rape, this has been relatively clean.
Yeah, but there's a lot of rape. Oof.
Yeah, but it's I get, people say we can't joke by rape, but there's certain contexts where everything can be funny.
I think zombie rape is funny. Yeah.
Like a woman being raped, that's not funny. But a guy walking down the street getting raped by an 800-pound gorilla, that's kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Not if it actually happens, but after the fact, like 6 months later, definitely going to be funny, especially if he survives.
Yeah.
It's all about context.
It's true. Very true.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I don't know. I think it would have been. I think it would have been funny if we would have had you for Palm Sunday yesterday. But
yes, the Antichrist this year.
Yeah, right. That's every time I ask Aaron, I go, oh, like what kind of conversations can I look forward to? He's like, yeah. I go, what do you mean? Yeah. He goes, yeah. Just you'll see. It's cool. It's all right.
Oh, you want to jump into that shit? It's good.
I'm down and good for just about anything.
All right, let's get into it then. What does Palm Sunday mean to you?
Palm Sunday means nothing to me.
There it is. That's all you need to know.
It's a day. It's any other Sunday to me. I get it means something to other people, and that's fantastic for them. But it's just another day to me.
Yeah.
A tradition of a subset of people.
You keep that calm. All right.
Well, we were watching. What movie we were watching the other day? I forget what. We were watching something, and they were talking about Adam and Eve, and they're like, it's on Netflix. It's called Bloodfather.
Mm-hmm.
It's with Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, man, that dude looks worse than Sylvester Stallone right now. Like, just like that wrinkly, like, old man that's buff. Like, that's all you can describe. Right. And they were talking about Adam and Eve, and his daughter goes, oh, like, what do you really think you think Eve was really white? Like, because like, I don't know, something that happened. I take obviously out of context. I don't remember the joke of it, but she brought that up, and all of a sudden he's like sitting there and he pauses for a second. And he goes, yeah, she's got a good point. Like, I don't think those people were white. How did we become white?
How did we become white? We moved up north, far away from the equator there.
Yeah, I mean, you go out way north, to the Nordic states. Those people are pasty as hell.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm rather pasty, and compared to them, I'm pretty dark skinned.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. But yeah, it certainly didn't start out white. Well, I mean, but speaking of that, look how the image of Jesus you see everywhere. That is like the farthest thing, if he was a real person, that he would look like.
Ooh, wait. Are we saying Jesus isn't real? Like he wasn't a real person?
Well,
I'm curious.
There's little to no evidence to suggest that he was a real person. He's in the historical record. The only references to Jesus are from the Bible. So, I mean, you got to have multiple points of reference to verify the validity of a person that actually lived.
I thought they do some. I thought they had like some investigation about this like a few years back or something. They had a TV show about that too, where they're trying to figure that out if he actually even existed. I don't know. I don't remember the name of it.
I mean, ultimately, I wouldn't say that he didn't, but I certainly don't buy that he did. I mean, it's just one of the things that we will probably never know for sure.
I saw there was enough. I thought there was enough historical documentation on that he actually existed. I mean, obviously, we know you don't believe in.
Yeah.
Well, all right. There's difference of like, all right. So let's say he, for conversation's sake here, he did exist,
Okay.
and let's get into your beliefs on all that shit. I'm sorry, I'm kind of hijacking your show here, buddy, but I feel like I got some good questions here for RVD.
That's why I like it. I like it. I want to dive deep into this. I want to burst some people's bubbles. I want Gidge to listen to this and go, holy shit. I want one of those. I want one of those. I mean, she probably stopped listening after the first 6 minutes after I said fuck. But if she gets herself to this point, I want someone like that to listen to it and go, oh Jesus. And I would like it.
All right, yeah, I get it. All right, so I want RVD's your take on.
I want your input. I want your input on something.
So okay, so if Jesus was like, okay, for the sake of argument, Jesus was real. Okay.
Yeah.
And where are you going to go with that?
Well, I just want to go with your beliefs and everything else, or what you believe in, like saying, he's real. And what do you think of? What do you think of Christianity and all that?
I mean, I think it's a big support group.
It's a big support group. It's a big support group.
I mean, look, I get the appeal of the belief, right? There's stuff that I'd like to believe, but I just can't accept it because I don't have any way to verify its validity or how true it is. So suppose, without a doubt, it's proven that Jesus was real. Great.
Okay.
But that doesn't really prove that he did the things that he actually did, turning water into wine and healing the sick. And maybe he was a real guy and he just preached what he did and he got a following. I mean, we all know how cults start, right? They have that same sort of makeup as Jesus.
Okay. So you're saying like
it's cool. But if you think about it, in that sense, it's actually funny to think that means that he created a cult then in like several different ways almost.
It all branched off.
It all branched off. So like another group decided, well, it's okay. You can touch little boys that serve you during the ceremonies, but we don't like gays. But then there's another one where, there's all the weird ones and stuff like that. We get a lot of what did we get here the other day? We got the Book of Mormon the other day. We got Mormons always come to us here, door to door. They always want to talk to us, and we talked to them and we said, hey, you can't be coming here. Like I don't know what you're doing. Like why are you here? Like why are you going door to door still? Like how have you not got in trouble? He goes, well, it's part of my religion. It doesn't matter. And I go, oh, what do you mean? Like there's definitely there's still a boundary where you have to follow as a citizen at some point where you say like, probably not a good idea for me to go door to door right now talking to people about my religion. Right?
Well, yeah. How do you expect somebody to be sympathetic to your message when you're annoying the shit out of them? True. I mean, I get they need to, recruit for their flock or whatever you want to call it. We just got a Mormon church that was built down the street over here, so we're just waiting for those guys to come knocking. Which should be fun. I just want to answer a door, be like, I'm a registered sex offender. Is that still cool? You guys still want to talk? But see, that might backfire on me because they might raise an eyebrow, be like, sure. Then I'll just have to be like, JK, close the door and close the blinds and all that. But you look at, what Kyle said earlier, you have over 1,000 different denominations of Christianity. And so many? You could, there's so many.
No, I know there is.
So you could Jesus was like the head of that pyramid, and he broke off from Judaism with his own preachings and teachings and such like that, and then it just went down the line. You had with the Smith guy that started the Mormons, and all the other ones all around the world. So David Koresh, the not even the offshoots, but like the cult types, like David Koresh. So I mean, if Jesus was real, that's the best I could do with him.
Well, so where you go on? Sorry, Kyle.
No, so two things really quick. So one, I thought you guys I think you'd get a kick out of this one. Is we were at the pool one day, I think last year or something like that. Maybe it's been a while since I've been at the pool, so I don't remember when this was. But we were sitting there, and sure enough, some Mormons were walking across. They're wearing their ties and their white shirts across the pool, and someone raised up a beer and said, "Hey, you want a drink?" And like some people were like laughing their ass off, and some people were like, "Oh, like that's not cool. Like you should know how their religion." What? Come on, are you really gonna get offended because you're offering someone a drink? Like, come on, like you're sitting there getting drunk.
They're entering a partying area, yeah.
Yeah, like what are you gonna expect? Like you're around college students. Like so, if you're one of those college students sitting there, like, and you're gonna get offended by that, then you shouldn't be sitting there hanging out with everybody else. I saw that. That was one thing. Then two, down the street from me here, I think about up in central Phoenix, actually. So about 15, 20 minutes. I saw a Scientology church.
Oh, there we go.
and I've always thought about it. I would love to be able to walk in and like sit on one of their, meetings or whatever they do. I just want to hear I just want to hear it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you see like that. You saw that thing on A&E a while ago with the chick from what was that show? She's like a very big into it.
The former one that's calling them out now.
It was like According to Jim or something like that. No, it was one of those shows. The woman from that, she was like a big advocate of it. You could see her on A&E. I think they may have been calling her out, but at the same time, she was a part of the cult for the longest time or whatever it was. But I saw that.
Is that who you're thinking of?
I think so. There's the actress. She's an actress for like daytime TV. She was on there. I'll see if I can find her name. But yeah. So Arian, look it up.
Oh shit! I actually got my Jamie skills now.
Because I know Leah Remini. She used to be a Scientologist, and now she advocates against them and calls them out on their practices and such like that. And they really have it out for her. And I think her parents are still part of it.
Yeah, so
she was on the King of Queens, right? That
King of Queens. There it is. That's
Leah Remini calls that. That's it. Yeah.
Man, Jamie, I found that faster than you did.
Dude, I wasn't on point on that one.
This
in my garage today. Yeah, it is. I'm in my garage today. I think it threw me off being in the garage.
Yeah, but so I see that, and I always, for some reason, like it doesn't interest me in what like their story is or anything, but I just think sitting in on one of those sessions would be interesting. But then someone, pointed out to me, they're like, no, you have to pay money to go in. Like they don't just let you walk in and listen like a regular church. You know what I mean?
Oh no, that's a rich man's religion. You need some serious cash because they got to hook you up to the machine and check how many thetans you got or whatever they do so they could tell Xenu. Yeah, I mean, I was reading about it a while back, and it's some. Apparently, there's like these things called thetans that take over bodies or something like that. What's crazy though, I mean, it's no different to me than any other religion. But when you look, because Scientology is relatively new, right? I think the guy wrote the books in the 1950s or something. And I just try to wrap my head around, because, it's funny when you have like, at least from my perspective, like somebody, let's say, that believes in God and Jesus, and they're making fun of Scientologists for the stupid shit they believe. And I'm looking at them like, hey, motherfucker, what makes you so different,
So what do you believe in? Are you just straight up atheist, or are you like agnostic or anything like that?
No, like I don't know if there's a God. I don't know. I don't know. There's no possible way I can know that. Yeah. I just think it's one of those things that in life we will probably never know until we die.
Yeah. Fair enough.
See, so now, see how you say that. You say that right there. He says you never know in your life. So I thought about that the other day. Is how I guarantee when you guys were younger, you always would say, "Oh, well, that's not going to affect me in my lifetime, so I don't really care." You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like pollution or the other bullshit that whatever, like the things that everyone always says.
Somebody else's problem, though.
Yeah, so yeah, you always say, it's someone else's problem. It's not going to affect me in my lifetime, right? I mean, I guarantee you've said it before. I mean, I've said it before, and you think about it, like where we are now. Sorry to like cut you off, but like if you think about it right now, where we are. You probably would find yourself 15 years ago if someone said, oh, yeah, like, there's like this virus being formed if you eat a bat or whatever the bullshit is. people are gonna get infected and start dying, and you're gonna go, not in my lifetime, fuck it, right?
Yeah.
And then sure enough, now here we are, like 15 years later, and you're like, oh shit, like we're here, like. But sorry to cut you off. Sorry, keep
No,
going.
no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I think anybody at a young age doesn't realize the small implications of something that can happen around the world. Whereas now as adults, we understand that one small thing in China or Australia can have implications all around the world. And it's kind of hard to expect even a teenager or somebody in their early 20s to really get that.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. I'll connect off what you said before and how you asked, what his beliefs are. I remember we sat in church, we sat in mass. Here we go. I'm gonna, we were, yes, oh yeah, there we go. We were sitting. I was sitting in the back with my old man. I think we showed up late. I think we were there like in the, like that first like 15 minutes where you can skip through it, and then you try to leave before like end of communion, so you get the last 15 minutes out. So you're only there for about 30 minutes total.
Yeah.
So you can get home before noon for the Bears game. Like that's how we were thinking about it. I think my mom was gone for the day, whatever. I don't know. So we're sitting there in the back, and the priest started talking, and that was right when gay marriage started to come up, right? That was the big thing. That was a big conversation at the time. I remember it. It was, that was a while ago. I mean, that was a while ago. I couldn't even drive yet, I don't think. And I remember that popping up, and they're like, oh, well, if you're confused about what you can and cannot do as a Catholic member of the church, there's a CD in the back for purchase. Purchase that, take it home, and you can watch a DVD. And my dad looks at me and he goes, holy shit. He goes, I kind of interested. He goes, I'm kind of interested to see what that video is. It says, they just talked about not like his whole sermon was about, like gay rights and how it's not good for like the church or whatever. I don't even remember what it was about. It was a bunch of just spewing bullshit coming out of his mouth. And I remember him looking at me and he goes, look, don't listen to everything the church says. That's what he told me that day. And then, we were driving home and he just kind of said it a couple more times. Like, just don't listen to that. Like, he goes, believe what you want to believe, do what you want to do. Like that's the freedom of this like country. That's the freedom of what you can do in life. Like, just do what you can do and enjoy your life. Right. And how he said it. And he goes, don't believe everything. So of course I told him about, I don't know, probably 2 years ago, I said, oh, because of you. And I didn't make sure my mom wasn't listening or whatever. And I go, oh, because of you said, don't take everything the church says seriously. So I've been questioning every single thing since that day. Then you said that. And he goes, oh shit. He goes, don't tell your mother. He goes, don't tell your mother. Like, so then sure enough, I have a big mouth. So I sure enough went to my mom and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. You really think that the world flooded and they put all these animals on a boat? I don't know. Like, that doesn't really connect with me. I don't really think that could be true. Do you think a snake really was a part of this whole like thing slithering someone's ear? Of course I brought it all up because if you really think about it, like, it sounds like a children's story. If you really think about it, most of those stories sound like a children's story. Now, I mean, my beliefs, I believe that there is a God in a certain sense, but I think the stories around everything is a little hokey pokey. You know what I mean? I just don't think it's exaggerated. I think it's been exaggerated over time, for sure. It's probably some dude probably jumped on a boat with two birds and like his dog, and they called it the Ark. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of look at it. I think some of the stories are a little hokey pokey. So listening to that, it kind of goes, okay, like as time progresses, I kind of just start to even question more and more of, really, like, is that really what happened? Like, you really think, I mean, like the one thing I think that stands out to me the most is that they teach you in school always is that a man and a woman come together and make babies. But somehow a spirit got this woman pregnant. That's one that kind of, it's exaggerated.
That throws your head off a little bit.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. We're taught always in
immaculate
school.
Conception.
Yeah, taught in school where it's a man and a woman. That's how you make a baby. And all of a sudden, like, I'm going, then at that same time, you're going through, I was going through CCD. So on every Sunday after whatever, you go to class and learn about this stuff. And you sit there and start to question it because especially as you get older, you sit there and you listen to it and you go, what? At what point do the stories start to turn? It's kind of like where you whisper into someone's ear. You know what I mean? You go, hey, so and so said that you're ugly, and then the next person goes, so and so said you're ugly, and then that person goes, so and so said you're really ugly, and that just keeps changing and changing and changing. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like one of those like games when you played when you were younger, where you whisper into someone's ear and you say, "Oh yeah, like did you hear about Arian? Did you hear about the shit he did?" Yeah, like one of those things. Like that's where all of a sudden it just escalates. So that's where I definitely find my
I could, yeah, I agree with that a lot. I mean, that's kind of growing up, especially being raised Catholic. That was fucking rough.
Right.
I think all three of us were raised Catholic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rough one there, dude. God, they're such angry fucking people. Touchy fucking boys. God.
But that's what got me on that track because, I'd have questions, but the best answer I get is like, well, you just have to have faith. And that's not really good enough to me because I want to know the nitty gritty and the inner details and inner workings of something. And that is a problem with the Bible is that you have a document that's thousands of years old. It's been translated into different languages. You've had stuff taken out. You have King James version. You have new whatever version. You have all these different versions because nobody agrees on the one thing. And you have I think it was Constantine that had the Council of Nicaea because what they wanted to do was find some kind of middle ground between Christianity and paganism. And so that's how you got these pagan rituals incorporated into Christianity, like pretty much everything that we do for Christmas. And that's how the date of Jesus's birth was determined. It was determined by a council that wanted to get everything together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, dude, like, here's my biggest issue with all of it is the Bible's written by who? Man? What has man been doing for a long time? Bullshitting everybody? Like, dude, I don't trust. Come on, dude. Like, if somebody wrote the Bible today, would you believe any of the shit that was in it?
No, it's like reading The Lord of the Rings and thinking, oh, this is real. This
Sometimes I
actually
wish it
happens.
Well, that's what I was just doing. I was just searching who's the author of the Bible.
Bunch of dudes.
But the belief is that the Bible was written by man, but it was dictated by God.
My God.
So
Right.
It's the word of God. And I mean, it's like, well, there's some problems there because he gets some things seriously wrong. Like if you look at Genesis, right? Somehow he creates they talk about there being night and day before he ever creates light. There's a logical problem right there because without light, there is no night and day. It's just night.
Yeah.
And you would think that's like a finer point that God would know, but people at that, I mean, we're talking about Bronze Age sheep herders that lived in caves, right? That don't understand much of anything going on in the world. I mean, if you look at the way Moses talks about God, what he describes, we now know as a volcano, but somebody in his time has no idea what that is. And of course, he's going to be extremely terrified of it.
Fair enough.
Did we lose Arian? Because Arian's video is frozen.
I'm right
No,
here.
I still got him.
I thought he was just like sitting very still. I'm like, that's
stroking
impressive.
out.
Yeah.
He's got some of the palsy. Some of the palsy.
Wait,
yeah, that's okay to say now, right? You can say palsy.
Yeah, palsy's in. They haven't banned
think
palsy
so.
yet. I think we went over that a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
You can go with that.
I remember. I'll tell Aaron even too. I think I've told him before. I don't know if we went over a podcast before, but I talked about it once. I remember walking in the 7th grade, and the teacher on the wall, she wrote on the chalkboard, the R word. And I remember sitting there, and she goes, "Tomorrow we're going to talk about the R word and its impacts." And I was sitting there going, "Holy shit!" I go, "Wow, this is something intense. Like this, the R word." And then we're going home to my dad and going, "Hey, the R word. What is the R word?" Like I know a lot of swear words. I know swear words in Polish now too, because of Beata's kids. Like he taught me all of the words the other day. Kurwa, pierdolek. I know them all. I feel good about it. And he's like, "The R word." He goes, "What is the R word?" And he was sitting there and he was kind of puzzling over it. And that's when I learned that even when it's your father, you can sit there and you can giggle a little bit because he goes, yeah, I have no fucking idea what that is. He goes, I don't know, you tell me tomorrow. And then sure enough, when we went in, I heard about it and I was like, wow, like I can't say that anymore. And then I think after that point, once we had that discussion in class, is that when it became so prevalent where you almost could rake out like the shitty people through school and like the good people. It was weird. And then you get like the borderline people in the middle that only say it behind these people's backs. You know what I mean? So like that's how you like it was weird. You pretty much raked it out is what you did is you raked out the people that always would say it compared to the people that, you know, maybe had someone like that in their family. So they were very offended by it, right? So you have these people here. Then you have the people going on the middle, kind of like we were with gay, right? Remember I used to call people gay rods and all the other fun stuff.
Yeah.
But then as time got on, you kind of had to be like, like my neighbor's gay. I can't say it to him anymore. You know what I mean? So you have like that, you have that right side, you have that left side, and then not the right side, like, yeah,
right.
You know, I'm right. I mean, like you have this side and this side, then you have the people going on the middle, and then obviously you have Aryan who's way over here going, oh yeah, I'm gonna say whatever the hell I want. Because he's
right, which brings me up to the point right now, because I'm trying to. When did it become horrible to say the word retard? Okay, when did that happen?
Okay, it had to have been. Okay, I would have graduated in 15, so 14, 13, 12, 11. So like 2008, I would say, around that time.
Yeah, it's been a while now.
I know, but like, dude, I've never used it. I've never used it to make fun of mentally challenged people ever. I would never either. I would never fucking do that. I say retard when I talk to Kyle because he's fucking retarded sometimes. You know?
Yeah. Did we lose Arthur here?
He's frozen on me.
Arthur.
So I don't know.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
I don't know. Well, maybe he'll come back in.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, it took us a few seconds.
Yeah, but no,
I know. Shitty internet in Arizona.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
But what I was saying is, it's called running on the euphemism treadmill, right? So the word retard used to be like a medical term for somebody that wasn't all there. And you could replace that with any word, and ultimately it's going to become an insult. Like suppose people that have developmental challenges, right? Suppose we call them a button stock, right? I just made that word up. And it becomes a medical term. So your friend who's acting like a dumbass, you're going to say, hey, man, stop acting like a button stock, right? And it's just going to catch on to the mainstream, and now it's going to become a taboo word. So the medical community is going to have to develop a new word because this is now an insult. And it's just going to happen over and over and over again.
What are some other fun words that are not allowed anymore?
Well, okay. Well, I remember going through life and we could bring him up. So, you know, I call him ex-buddy or whatever. Anyways, his parents, he got adopted by two gay guys. And that was when the first time, 6th grade, it was 6th grade for me, right? So that was after 5th grade where you could throw around gay like it was, like you were saying hello to anybody, right? You just said it all the time. Every time anything you would come out of your mouth, it would be something.
Dude, that's gay. That's gay.
Yeah, like it always would come out, right? Yeah. And you're coming fresh out of elementary school, you're going to middle school, you're meeting new people, you're like, oh yeah, you're gay. You're like, what? You know what I mean? So you're in 6th grade at the time, right? So I was in 6th grade, I remember it, and like I kept saying it a lot. And the bro goes, hey man, like you can chill with that. You know, my parents are gay. I don't really appreciate that, whatever else. So then I thought about it. That's how I changed, I think, as a person. I think I at that point kind of went, okay, this person gets offended by me saying that because of how his homestand is and how he grew up and how he's going to be growing up for the rest of his life here. So I understand that. I will pull that out of my vocabulary because obviously at that point too, that's when we were kind of turning over that page of, what's legal in the country. It's not even legal in the country yet, is it? Fully legal? It's not a federal law yet, right?
Oh, to get married?
Gay marriage? I don't think so.
No, I think it's still state by state.
State by state.
As far as I know.
Yeah, so I mean, the way I mean, I remember like thinking that and going, okay, like, all right, I'll take that in my vocabulary for, for the good of my friend, who knew, 9 years later he's gonna shit on my fucking family. But anyways, besides that point, you get to it and you kind of think about it, and I don't even know where I'm going with this, but you think about it, you think about those certain kind of words that you say, and some people take it over here, some people take it here very loosely, some people take it here really tight, and then there are people that skate through it and go, I don't know, like, and that's why I don't think there was any, I don't know if any other words besides those two that really, I mean, obviously you have your derogatory terms that you say that, that I could come off as racist. Those words, I think for sure that you could put into that category. But I don't think there's anything else besides that. I mean, unless you guys can think of something, I can't really think of anything else that really hits that fine line between like you can say it, but people
like
are gonna
faggot and retard. Can't say faggot and retard, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah,
because can't say because people get offended.
Yeah,
Even though I have a lot of gay friends and I joke around them, calling it's everybody. People get offended these days. Everybody gets so offended about everything, and I'm coming to a point where I don't give a shit anymore. Like I'm not even gonna apologize the shit that comes out of my mouth.
Okay. It's like the word.
I don't care anymore.
It's like the word triggered. When's the first time you heard the word triggered?
Only in the last few years. I want to say.
I mean, I think maybe like, and people started using it now more and more as like when someone makes fun of you in a certain way and you kind of get like, get a little pissed off. Everyone gets a little pissed off when you get made fun of and you get ganged up on a little bit. And you're like, really? Oh, really? Oh, you're getting triggered, huh? Like, okay, like I'm not getting triggered here. I'm defending my case here as a human being. But like people use that word. That's one of the words I think to me that really pops out to me is that the word triggered. Like 10 years ago, if someone would use the word triggered, you would have looked at them and go like, yeah, all right, homo. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you would have been like,
exactly.
you would have been like, yeah,
okay. Such a faggot. My mom called me a faggot. My mom called me a faggot all the time, and not like because I'm gay or anything like that. She just straight up called me like, "Stop being such a faggot." like, all right.
But the thing is, yeah, when you use the word faggot, I think like in that kind of way, I don't think it has anything to do with homosexuals.
Oh God, no, one bit at all. Like I
just like
don't
give
a rat's ass
now.
Where you stick your dick. If you want to stick your dick in his ass, I could care less.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother
exactly,
me. You want to share it? I don't care. You want to do all this? It doesn't bother me. I don't give a shit what people do or how they live their life or what their sexual preferences or whatever it is into.
Exactly.
It doesn't bother me. Words don't fucking hurt me or bother me at all. Then again, I was also raised by a psychopath who fucking said a lot of crazy shit to me. That's probably why I'm so numb to it all. Yeah, fucking world. That guy is a crazy bastard. But none of this shit bothers me whatsoever. There's so many people get so. I think a lot of people grew up a little soft. So words hurt. I think the closest, like if you call me a Polak, obviously it doesn't bother me at all. If you're being derogatory towards me, yeah, it might bother me a little bit. Like let's say it's some fucking German guy, or even worse, a Russian. It's like you fucking Polak. Then I'd be like, I'd be a little pissed because I take that as more of a fuck you Russian scumbag.
Okay, the way
that's the only way.
But the way you're saying that is that it's pretty much the way you kind of can look at it, and you can kind of bring it to a full circle on every race, religion, everything, right? You can look at it and say, well, you can make fun of your own. If you are that person, you are from that religion or that ethnicity or whatever it is, you can make fun of it, right? You can make fun of it to a certain sense.
You can do more. I don't think it doesn't have to do with that. I think you could actually make fun of people as long as people start being like, look, all right, I got plenty of Mexican friends that I go back and forth with all the time. I call them cholos, this and that. I'm not saying some more because I don't get everyone's think I'm so super racist here. I got black friends. I say some, harder words and shit in front of them. We go back and forth. That's fine. But I think it's a joking matter. I don't understand what the fucking problem is, especially with your friends. Like,
so what I'm getting at is that you can make fun of yourself, but how you say it, like if someone else calls it back to you, it's different when you can make fun of yourself, but when someone else comes in and enters that circle of you making fun of yourself, and then you sitting there going, okay, well, wait a second, I can make fun of me being Polish. How many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb? Exactly, I understand it, but when someone else says, yeah, well, like you're just like one of those Polacks, huh? Well, then you kind of think about it and you go, well, hey, wait a second. Like, you don't see me making fun of your, well, then you stop and you go, well, maybe I do. But see, you're getting sensitive. See, the time is, I figured it out. You're getting sensitive.
I am not sensitive about any of that shit because I love a good Polish joke from anywhere it comes from. It doesn't bother me at all. I would only get sensitive, as you call it, or just pissed off if it comes off as straight up anger. Like it's like a person talking shit that I don't know or at all or whatever, and just being degrading and saying, hey, you're a Polak, you're a dumb fucking Polak, or this and that, and some asshole saying it randomly. That's the only time I'd ever get pissed off at it. That's more because someone's coming at me with aggression.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually more of the aggression of it. But I take jokes from Eddie. I love it. I mean, you talk shit. I love talking shit. I mean, I love spreading shit. I love when people talk shit back to me. So to me, it doesn't bother me one bit if some black guy, some Mexican guy, some Asian dude just starts making fun of like maybe a clumsy white guy and doing this other shit and being a Polak, whatever. If you're doing it in a joking manner, I think it's fucking hilarious. I don't care.
But that's the thing. That's the fine line. That's the fine line because some people don't get it between being a joke and not the people that are seeing it.
I think that
the
comes
people
out
that are
of
saying it.
Really, if you can't catch sarcasm, you're a fucking.
Well, no, but I think that what it is it's the actual person saying the things, of where it's a fine line between how it comes off as sarcasm or as a joke.
I think
or
that just
whatever
comes
it
out
is.
with how smart you are and how dumb you are. If you can't understand what someone's saying, you're just a fucking dumbass.
Okay, but
you're gonna cry about it, and the internet's gonna be your tool to spread your stupidity.
But you found yourself before. I mean, I know all three of us have. You find yourself where you listen to someone talk and you go, okay, well, the way the person's saying these things over and over, you're kind of questioning if it's actually a joke, if they're actually being sarcastic, and if it's more like this is actually how the person feels. And I mean, you and we've had this conversation before, and you can see it between people. You can see how people act and the certain way they say things, and the way they. I think one thing in college I definitely have learned is that drunk things that people say when they're drunk are sober thoughts, right? I mean that's definitely how normal process is.
Absolutely.
But when you're in college, you see a lot more drunkenness than probably every single day to day. I mean, maybe not for
loose who they really are.
Exactly.
A drunk man's actions are a sober man's thoughts.
Exactly. Yeah. So you see that when people are drunk, and I think the realness of them come out.
That's the case. My wife really hates me. Jesus, that's all I gotta say.
The real
when she gets drunk, the things that come out of that woman's mouth against me. Good God.
But yeah, so that's where you get to. I think is where if it's a different sense between joking about it and being sarcastic about it to a certain extent, right? There's a fine line, and we all know there's a fine line. There's a fine line that you can get to, and then crossing that fine line, and knowing your audience and knowing where you are and everything like that.
Well, that's a big thing. Knowing your audience is a big thing. It's a very big thing.
Comparing to where those other people are, where they're already over that line, and you can't see them anymore, and they don't know their audience. They don't know this is how they were grown up, all that stuff. So it's just like super intense.
Roscoe over here knows his audience, and he damn well knows his audience, and he doesn't give a fuck. See, there's a difference there too, because I know Roscoe very fucking well, and I'm not gonna say who I'm talking about, but I know many times this man knows his audience. He knows how to pick, and he's a troll. He's fucking good, dude. This guy is Donald Trump over here, by the way, but a lot smoother with it too. So there's that too.
Oh yeah, because you thought you saw tweets now, right? Yeah, did you see the Facebook post from 6 years ago? It started then, 2013 or so. You probably could go through there. I mean, it's cool, but I enjoy it because I've sat there before on my phone, and I've done there before where I click on your profile and I go, all right, let's see what he's got here. Like, he got banned for something. Like, let's check out what he's got going on. Like, let's see what he got banned for. And then all of a sudden, like, you scroll through it, and all of a sudden there's like a little time spacing, and you're like, all right, this is where he got banned. Like, how can we do some research? How can we do some research on where he went wrong and what he said? Was it in the comments? So you start reading the comments, and like, I think the best thing is the funniest thing is that sometimes the comments, so it's like you click on someone's like profile picture or whatever it is, and that person's picture pops up, and it's like a basic picture from the internet. And then you like click on their profile and you like look at it, and it's like, wait, is this person real? Like, I wonder, like, I like this. Like, this is, it's always an interesting read. I've never found a time where I've read it going like, what is he saying? Like,
Oh yeah,
it's more,
Roscoe shit is
it's
all
more of like,
the
it's
hook
more of
all the
like
time.
it's more of like a, okay, like, it's not even the fact of that. I don't even think that you're going for it as an entertainment aspect. It's more of a, this is your beliefs, and correct me if I'm wrong, but these are your beliefs, and you can take them how you want it. You can take it how you want it, pretty much. That's I feel like that's exactly what it is. This is what you believe in. This is what you want to do, but you also at the same time like to push some people's buttons a little bit, right? I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not necessarily wrong. I mean, that is my position, and you could take it or leave it. I mean, my whole philosophy is that more now than ever, we live in a culture where almost everything is offensive. And like, people using certain names or certain words, and people say it's offensive, you can't do that. And being offended is a personal problem. Now, imagine if we tried to adhere to every single standard of the 7 billion people on this planet, that we did absolutely nothing that offends anybody. You can't even be human anymore.
Yep.
So where do you draw the line? I mean, even if somebody calls me a dumb Polak or is being insulting in a mean way, fine. I'll say you're absolutely right. Everything you said. And it immediately disarms them, because what are they going to come at me next? I just agreed with their insult.
True. I like that a lot. That's good.
What
I
are they
wish I
going to
had
do
some.
now? Be
I'm
like,
half.
yeah.
I'm like 50-50 that way. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah. And other
Well,
times I'm just like, fuck you, because it
yeah,
all depends.
yeah.
It kind of depends on who comes from to me though. Like it, you know, it's just how they're coming off. Like most of the time I'll be like, yeah, all right, that's about right. Dumb Polak, that's me. But if it's some like dude that I don't know why I don't like Russian people so much. It's not all Russians, I feel bad that this is going out there. Like I just, it's something to do with like the whole World War II thing. I got that still in my mindset, even though I was never there, nothing fucking part of it. I know it was part of our family shit from way back in the goddamn day.
Yeah.
But there's some part of like the whole like, the Polacks versus Russians. It's been going on for a long time. I feel like it should keep going. That's never stop. So like if some Russian dude like gets all aggressive with me, like I'm gonna come back. Like the ones in Vegas. Remember those guys, fucking Kyle?
Yeah.
I think half of it was because those guys were fucking Russian, and I want to start shit back with them. I don't know what it is. Like that's just, it's more of a personal thing.
Yeah,
no, I agree with
but
you.
you know what? But wait, but in Vegas, let's get this.
Yeah, I was drunk as shit.
Let's get the record straight. This man almost got busted on the plane for drinking booze that was not the airline's booze. Okay, let's get that straight first. Then he said and then we talked about it, and I said, okay, well, if it's a $2,000 fine for drinking not the airline's booze, do they charge you another $2,000 for smoking a cigarette? And is this punishable by arrest? Because if it's not punishable by arrest and just maybe a court fine, a fine later on in the future, I say fuck it. Why not? I mean, like that way you kind of look at it that almost in the aspect where sometimes you sit on an airline and you go. That's why I always question, because sometimes where's the fine print? I want to see the fine print personally, because I'm actually interested. If it says $2,000 for smoking a cigarette on the plane, am I gonna get I'm probably gonna get put in cuffs on the plane, probably, right? Maybe.
Oh, in this day and age, you're going to Guantanamo Bay right away, man.
You for smoking a cigarette on the plane?
Well,
you think so?
I'm on it right now.
That's my biggest question, is because it says $2,000 fine, but I want to know, am I going to get off that plane and am I going to get cuffed right away? Probably. I think there's about a 95% chance I'm going to get cuffed right away. I'm not going to enjoy my vacation for the next 9 hours. I'm probably going to be in someone's office.
Shit.
But at
you
the same
could very well. I mean, people now with this COVID-19 business are getting charged with terrorism for the most ridiculous shit, for even just Facebook posts. So to think that smoking on a plane wouldn't get you something really serious, I mean, I don't think it's worth the risk.
Tell me why do you think they stopped smoking on a plane? Like why they stopped it? You think it was health concerns?
No.
Probably not.
Well, what do you think it was?
Why do you stop smoking on a plane?
Probably
I don't think it was health concerns.
Following the crash of Varga Flight 820 in 1973, the U.S. Federal Aviation banned smoking in aircraft lavatories following the fire that originated in the lavatory, not necessarily from smoking. But then on Air Canada Flight 797 in June 1983, resulting in the death of 23 passengers, new requirements to install smoke detectors in laboratories were brought in. So actually, it was done because of, people fucking lighting the goddamn place on fire.
Okay, but okay.
And it had nothing to do with get that out of my. It had nothing to do with
Oh no, I
Clean Air Act shit.
No, hell no, I didn't think that was ever that.
I actually thought it was. I thought it was like a health thing. Like, people were like, oh, health conscious.
No, but
I don't want to breathe shit.
But okay, I will say this. I mean, in the past, I've definitely found myself where you're on a plane from so and so to so and so. I'm not gonna say where I was going from or to from or what this year was, but I found myself before where something as little as this, where you run to the bathroom and you go, oh yeah, like I need a little hit, and you breathe it in, and you're sitting there and you zero it out. So is that considered smoking? I don't know. Like
that's not like, according to originally why they started doing a vaping, when that'd be safe. If it's like one of those, like a Juul, that's not gonna, as long as like one of those big things that blows up. But I think they just lump it all in anyway. But yeah, so I'm looking at it, and this is Wikipedia, which is a shitty way to fucking find this out.
No, Wikipedia is the best.
The least face is a fine. At the worst, it's arrested. That to be detained. So yeah, there's a good chance you could just be fined the 2K. The worst case scenario, like if you're being super defiant. I don't know what this guy's doing.
No, you're good. You're good. Let him go. I think he had to take a leak. Or make himself a cocktail.
Worst case scenario, you get actually arrested. Which I think that's like, if you're just being a total asshole about it at that point, we're like, hey, can you put that out? And you're like, no, fuck you. You just keep blowing in people's faces, flick the butt. That's what I'm getting from what I'm reading off of this, how it's going. It seems kind of all
because that's where I want to know is, I mean, I'm not gonna do that. There's a certain level of ballsiness, I think, to do something like that, and the certain level of money to do that. You know what I mean? But then at that point,
right,
why don't you just take in a private jet somewhere and smoking all you want? Right, I mean, that's the overall goal in life, right? I think I in a weird way, and I think you'll like this one for yourself, is that I think in a weird way you can actually sit there one day and be able to sit in a private jet and spark up a cigarette and go, ha, I ain't getting fined for anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a life goal for me. That's absolutely a life goal.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be, is the no smoking thing like a FAA federal regulation?
Yeah,
so wouldn't that apply to a private plane too?
Technically, but I mean, I think if you own the fucking plane,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Like,
you own your own plane. Your pilot, you're paying $80,000 a year to fly him around. He's gonna be like, well, fuck this boss. He's smoking. I don't. Well, that guy sucks.
Right. Yeah, you lost your payday, and
but there's a reason. All right, it's two reasons. Like, all right, so I fly first class. Number one reason, well, it's A, comfortable. B, I love all the cocktails. C is if I'm gonna die, I want to die, comfortable as shit, Boom,
right.
Find out, a couple of drinks. But I always keep my cigarettes right in my pocket just in case that shit hits the fan. Like, it's not like one of those, like, the plane breaks apart, we all fly away. Like, if we're going down, I'm gonna fucking spark up right there and enjoy my way down. That's probably the only time I'll ever light up on a plane, because I don't see myself on.
Well, because
I'm owning my own private jet.
I just like that visual, right? Arian's on a plane, the wing snaps off, and he's like, "Oh God, I gotta get my cigarette."
No, because I'd be drunk, just going laying back, like, shit, fuck it, light up and keep drinking.
See, but at that point,
I'd probably grope the flight attendant a couple times, like, "Hey, we got like 30 seconds. That's 25 more than I need. That's 25 seconds more than I need."
When you're okay, so we had it actually when New Year's. I came in for New Year's. I went to Chicago, and when we were landing, the flight, it was weird. The weirdest thing I've ever experienced on a flight before. But he came down, so I was sitting in the window seat. We dropped through the clouds, and you could see the runway and everything else, and you're ready to land. And we kind of did one of these where we kind of dropped down and then whoop, right back up, and it was going, whoa. I've never experienced that one before. Like, we came down to land, and now we're not landing, and now we're turning around. So what's really going on here? And, he comes on about 6 minutes later. And I think about that sometimes. I think landing, to me, in my head sometimes, and I'm a very comfortable flyer. I don't freak out about when I'm flying. I think it's actually I think it's safer than being on a road, I mean, if you
Right.
really look at the statistics for it,
Statistically, yeah.
statistically, I mean, I'm a lot safer up in the air than I'm on the road. But I find myself sometimes where you're listening to like you're listening to a song and it's like, man, do I really want to listen to like OAR when I'm dying? Like, I don't know. So then you sit there and you look on your phone. Yeah, you look on your phone real quick and you're like, all right, like what's like a good one? Like, Bruce Springsteen. All right, like we'll die
Something
to
to
him.
go out. Yeah.
Yeah, like Born in the USA will be put on repeat for like the next 9 minutes while we're landing, and I'm like, all right, like if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die listening to something that like, I can think about when I'm dying, instead of like, OAR like crazy game of poker for the 9th time on the flight. You're like, oh son of a bitch.
I think my craziest one though is like coming back from Florida, and we're supposed to land in O'Hare, but there's bad storms, real bad. So we're supposed to be diverted they're like, all right, we're being diverted to Detroit, and I'm like, all right, whatever, it sucks. And the storms are still bad there. They were moving, from west to east across, and it's actually hitting that area. And we still had to circle Detroit, and we're circling for like an hour. I'm like, oh shit, we're going around, blah blah blah, hour or so plus, ordering some more drinks, trying to chill out, and then it's rough. I mean, let me tell you, the weather was still rough, even circling, just trying to get down into there. But I don't know what he was fucking thinking, but he clicks on and goes, yeah, all right, this is our plan here. We got about 10 minutes of fuel left, and then we'll be able to I'm like, what? Then everyone's like,
Come
did
again?
did you say we have 10 minutes of fuel left? And like, it's like, oh, we're gonna try to land over here. We don't know if we get that one. It might be a little bit longer. I'm like, wait, he just said 10 minutes of fuel, right? Like we're all looking at each other like, what the fuck, dude? Like we're all gonna die.
Ding, ding,
It's like only 10 minutes. I'm like,
yeah, 10 minutes.
Yeah, I need like 6 more bottles of bourbon. It's like
easy. But
I'm gonna start lighting up now.
But that's how your brain reacts to it. Is that I think in that kind of sense, you almost, in a sense, you freak out a little bit, but at the same time, you relax a little bit. You're not as concerned because it's different. Because think about it. It'd be different if the pilot didn't say a fucking word and all of a sudden the plane went like this.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Compared to going like this and then the pilot saying, oh yeah, we ran into a little bit of this. We ran over a person in the midair, like someone was skydiving, whatever. You know what I mean? And you kind of like, you get calm about it. Like you're not calm. I wouldn't say you're calm, but your body is relaxed still. Your mind might be still going crazy, but your body's still in that plane mode, airplane mode. Right.
And I've been in a moment like that too. And mine was a little different. We were going down to Brazil for the Carnival. This is years back, like about 15 years ago. We end up getting down there. We get drunk as shit, and we had hop flights. We missed a flight. We spent like 7 hours laid over because of customs, and I'm hungover, tired as shit. It was a long thing, and we're catching another flight. So we're catching a flight from Sao Paulo to Rio at this point, and it's only I think it's like a 2-hour flight. I'm not even sure what it was. Might be a little bit more. We get on the flight. I'm on a window seat. We passed out this. We ended up splitting us all apart too. We didn't give a shit. And I start waking up, and the plane just drops, and I look out the window, and there's just water right there, and I start screaming. I go, "What the fuck? Oh my god!" And everyone's like, "What the hell?" We're just landing. There's water right there. Yeah, that's the airport's right by the water, and I just woke up and freaked out because I had no idea what was going on. So passed out. But the plane did like a little dip like that, but I was knocked out conscious. And, I looked out the window, just saw water. I thought, that's it. Fucking life is over. Like we just crashed. So that's like the closest I've had to that.
Is that when you got out of the plane though and went to the women's bathroom?
No. That was in Vegas. That was rough. That's actually the weekend I met my wife, or like the first time I hung out with my wife for a business thing. Before we were married and all that shit. I got lit on the fucking plane, dude. I was fucking light. Bam, 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 pounding them down. 4-hour flight to Vegas. A little nervous because I'm meeting up with, some coworkers, and my wife's one of them. Or at the time she wasn't, And I, really liked her, all this shit, but I was nervous as shit hanging out with her. So I started drinking like crazy. And get off the plane. That's the thing about drinking your ass off on an airplane. This shit really doesn't hit you until you get off the plane or stand up for a good time. Because I get up and I'm like, whoa, doing one of these side to side. I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, oh man, I got to piss like a racehorse. So I just run in this bathroom, man. And I'm like, where are the goddamn urinals? I didn't care. Like I couldn't find them. So I just bust in the stall, boom, unleash the beast and just start hosing on this thing going, screaming that out as long as possible. all of a sudden 3 women just go, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like that's like 3 different like okay, like I'm like finish off, zip up, flush, no time to wash hands, run out the door, boom, cops right there, like, "Hey guy, what are you doing? What's going on?" It was like what's his name from Dateline? The whole that catching the predator.
Chris, what's his name? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, hey guy, what's going on? What are you doing here? I'm like, oh no. Look, I just got really drunk. I had no idea it was a woman's bathroom. All right, like I was just really drunk and had to piss really quick. Ran in, boom. I'm not a fucking pervert, okay? Jesus, those women screaming, and I was like, oh shit, wrong
Which
bathroom.
Is something that perverts say. I'm not a pervert.
Yeah, right. God, what's going on? What are you doing here?
All right, so I want to hear you guys' opinions on this one. I thought about this other day, kind of to break topic a little bit, kind of go back to what we were talking about before, but
because speaking of all that, made me want to go pee.
Yeah, he had something to do. The presidency. That's what I want to dig into is a little bit. Is first of all, do you believe that there's a way that if this is going on until a certain time, that the government would say, okay, well, we're going to postpone the actual election to the point where we don't run shit until February of next year, just to have a basic, I mean, obviously that's a gross output. I don't think we're going to get to that point. I think in a weird sense, and that could be just me because I've been so involved into my place at the one time that I think this is going to end soon. And that's just me being an optimist, I guess. But also like a little bit of a realist that at the same time, this could probably go on until June for all I know. But so do you think there's a sense of way that we could get into that point that there is no election this year for the first time in, however long or ever or whatever it is? I don't know the stats on that. And then beyond that does this bro do another 4 years, or do we get the guy that stutters and likes for little kids to sit on his lap?
All right. Well, Art, mind if I take over for 2 seconds here on this one?
Go ahead.
All right. So already this has been an issue with the elections, right? Wisconsin's governor just tried delaying it for a month because of obviously health concerns and what the hell's going on.
Right.
All right. Let's get ours. You want us to push it back till I think you want to actually push it till June because it's supposed to be happening very shortly. He got overruled by the higher courts saying, no, we're going to fucking do it still. So with all this going on, they're still having people. This happened in Illinois too, just last month with all that, and a couple other states too. They're trying to do all their shit, and they're still letting it happen, which is fucking to me. My point, like, dude, we could get this all done. There's still plenty of time before the elections in November to get this all ironed out. It's obvious that Joe Biden's going to be the fucking guy. So at this point, I don't know why he still hasn't got enough numbers. So I still think the election will still happen, in my opinion. At that time, I don't think that any of this will stop unless this gets like crazy. Like we're talking where it's killing off way more people and it mutates to something nuts.
Like becomes a martial law almost. Becomes a law.
Right. So it comes to that kind of point. I don't think it's going to stop any of it, in my opinion. And I find that Trump, by the way, is getting nothing but like huge. Like he's on the TV every day. Where's Joe Biden? Do you see Joe Biden on TV at all? No, dude. Joe Biden's probably fucking pissed as shit going. If I start talking about it, all I can say is, because what's he gonna say? He's got nothing to fucking say about this. Can't be running shit. He can't be doing. He's no real campaigning. No, you can't get people to groups. But Trump's up there every day using this shit. This is basically him. At the half the time he's fucking up, but he's on TV every day.
The only time you hear about Joe Biden is when he said something stupid.
Right.
That's really the only time we hear.
There's nothing for them to do about like, and this is taking over everything, and then nobody even gives a shit about the elections right now. Like, what's on the news right now?
No, yeah,
it doesn't even matter.
It
doesn't matter right or left. It doesn't matter right or left. COVID is, that's it. So I think it's still going to happen, and it's going to be a fucking landslide.
I think I'm going to write COVID-19 as my candidate. Because COVID-19 has proven that it can get shit done, right? I mean, it's not slowing down. It's just cruising right along. Worldwide, baby.
Worldwide, baby.
That's the leader.
Prestige worldwide. I'm gonna hit the head gas really quick.
Yeah, but I just it's weird to think about it in the sense is that, Okay, I've heard about Joe Biden a couple of times, and from probably the past, I'd say the past like 2 weeks or so, and it's mostly actually, and surprisingly, it'll be Trump that says something about him, where he'll say, "Oh, well, because okay, I don't know if you've seen it before over the internet a couple of times. I mean, I definitely see it a lot where, who could you see running the country next? Who would be the best candidate, right? And I know for to a certain sense, I know your output a little bit, I guess, or input into, you know, I would say I'm a libertarian. I don't know where you stand exactly, but Trump will bring up his name sometimes here and there, and then they say, oh, well, how about Cuomo from New York? He's doing a really good job. Well, is he doing a really good job? Because there's a lot of people dead. Like, I mean,
Right.
so that's why, like, you look at that sense almost in a certain sense, because I think that outweighs the good that he's done. The deaths to good ratio is where, you know what I mean? So I look at that in a sense too, but I don't know. I definitely would say I'm a libertarian just because I like weed, but I like guns, and I think there's a certain extent where the government shouldn't be involved, and I think that's a push off from my parents being so far to the left over here and being Aryan so far to the left over here that, I mean, no, I'm kidding. Aryan's in the middle somewhere. Maybe.
Not even.
See,
Like, I'm
see,
not even.
see. When he's walking on that line, his fingers are moving like this. So there's a little bit here, and there's a little bit there, and it's okay because I think personally, me too. There's a little bit here, and there's a little bit there, but I just think there's a certain, I don't know, just it's weird. It's weird to think about where the country is moving to, and while this is all going on, what is really going on? You know what I mean? Does that make sense at all?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a good point that let's say, hopefully it doesn't, but let's say this does extend out to November. And it's probably going to become a fight in the courts, just like did with the states about postponing the elections because you're preaching social distancing, but you're going to have hundreds of people go to polling places. But of course, that's going to be, for the left, they're going to say, oh, Donald Trump's trying to, do a power grab and become dictator or whatever. Um, so it could be an issue, but I don't think that they would postpone it. They might implement some kind of rules as to going to polling places, which obviously is going to probably create problems of its own. And as far as Joe Biden goes, the scary thing about Joe Biden, and being completely serious here, no jokes, when you hear him speak and the gaffes that he makes, it's pretty apparent that he's not all there in his head. I don't know whether it's dementia, early stages, or what, but that's scary to be president. I mean, even more scarier than Trump. Not that I'm anti-Trump. From an entertainment perspective, he's brilliant. He's a massive troll.
Yeah.
I fucking love. To
I was
me,
gonna say idolize. You got him on. You guys are
from
so
that
similar.
perspective, entertainment only, he is the greatest president we've ever had. I mean, you
Entertainment-wise,
can't
yeah.
just be. We have a reality star as president. If you ever watch Idiocracy, it's coming to life, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, I totally agree with that.
It's funny because, okay, so you look at it 3 years ago or so. I think the biggest culprit of it was Colbert, right? He every time he had his night show, all he would do is talk about Trump, right? And all his tweets or whatever else he had all the time. You always see that every single time. And I remember questioning people. I go, well, why do you watch this? Because it's the same thing over and over again. And he goes, well, no, it's not the same thing over and over again because he says stupid shit every single time. And I go, I don't know, like if you really look at it, like into a certain like aspect, right? You don't look at it as that he's your president or that he's the leader of the free world or whatever it is you want to say. You look at it as more of a, how can you get people's buttons pushed? Because we're leading into it's in a weird way, it's a way that he's kind of, and he doesn't do it on purpose. I think this is how he is mentally. I don't think that he's on purpose. I don't think on purpose he acts like this. I think
No.
I think just by how his brain works, it's just how he is. I think personally he's a businessman. He's a businessman with a little screws, a little loose in the head.
Narcissistic, self-centered asshole.
Right. That's his character, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly who he is.
But that goes back to, you know, what Kyle was asking me earlier. Like, yeah, I say things because those are my position, and I know it's going to push somebody's buttons. But if it pushes their buttons, I can challenge them to logically defend their position, which I know they're not going to be able to do because it's all an emotional reaction. You know, when you find something offensive, it doesn't come from an area of logic. It comes from an area of being emotionally hurt.
Yeah.
So you say, oh, if you say this, it's wrong. It's like people act like bad words or bad sayings is just some kind of universal truth. And it's not. Because if you do try living by everybody else's standards, you're not going to get to be human anymore. And so if I don't go out there trying to hurt people's feelings, but I know I'm going to make a joke or a jest about something, and somebody's going to say, "Why you can't say that?" Why? Because your feelings are hurt? What if your existence hurts my feelings? Are you going to go jump off a bridge to satisfy me? I doubt it. What if, you know, any number of things I could say could offend me. Are you going to run out and alter your life just to please me? Like, I barely know you, so why would I care what offends you? You know, I got people that follow me or on my friends list. I say, hey, man, if you don't like it, you know where the unfriend button is. You can block me. There's going to be no hard feelings.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing you to be here.
No, I love that. A lot of people fight on comments too, like that. You're saying, like, dude, people just like go back and forth, and I'm like, well, if you don't believe, like, just unfriend that person. Like, what?
Right.
What's the
Carry
problem?
on with
Like
your life.
like, why get so stressed out? People get so stressed out.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
because it's an emotional reaction. You know,
Yeah.
and that's how the people is against Trump.
Yeah,
it's just emotional reactions. I mean, Trump could, you know, if Trump cured cancer tomorrow, people would find a negative way to spin it.
MSNBC and CNN would be like,
yes.
Oh yeah,
they
because they would sit there for sure and say, well, okay, well, chances are he's had this for a long time, and why hasn't he brought it out to us a while ago?
Right.
Well, and vice versa. If Obama did it, and like Fox News would be like,
see, but that's why. Okay, I don't know if
You
you
know?
guys saw it. I saw it today. I saw this. Man, I stayed up super early this morning, and before I passed out, and he's been pushing. What's he been pushing? He's been pushing for it's like a hydro something. What was it?
Oh, hydro
chloroquine or something like that. Chloroquine.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about though. The hydro. See if I can look it up here.
It's a immunosuppressive drug and anti-parasite. So that's what
hydrochloroquine.
Okay, so that's what he's been pushing.
Okay, yeah.
That's what he's been pushing lately. But actually, if you really look at it in a certain sense, he's been pushing it, and no one has said this works. No one said this is the cure to end all, right? No one said this yet, but he's been pushing it. So he's actually, in a weird way, he's being smart about it, because if he pushes this and it works, he looks like a fucking genius. And no one can ever turn around and say, well, wait a second, he knew about this a while ago. Why did he never bring it up? They figured this out or whatever. So you know what I mean? So like, I mean, I wouldn't say that I don't think it's going to work. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm symptomatic. I don't think I have the symptoms for the said virus, or I don't really know anyone personally that, hey, you know, will try this because of this or that way. But in kind of in connecting it with that is that that's kind of way he's doing it, is he going, all right, well, if this is the sense, I can go into it and saying, okay, try this, do this. And that way, in the long run, someone can't turn around and be like, what a piece of shit. Like, he knew about this a while ago and he didn't bring it up. But at the same sense, how you say it, they can say, well, he's bringing it up now. Why wasn't it brought up 6 months ago? Why wasn't it brought up when this began?
But I do believe the hydrochloroquine stuff, like having some effect, came out of China, though.
China.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Chinese said, "Oh, it did this or that," and obviously you don't want to, you know, take it as gospel because they've been bullshitting about so much when this started. But did you hear about the that Arizona couple?
No. What was that?
Those are the ones that died. No, wait. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah. One of them died. The man died. The husband died because they were totally freaked out about coronavirus. And with Trump talking about the hydrochloroquine, they're like, all right, well, we're going to take it. And the media initially reported that that's what they took. But what they actually took was just chloroquine out of something that's used to treat aquariums.
Oh, yeah. For a koi pond, for a pond. I saw that.
So
Yes.
Arizona, I love it.
Yeah, they must have been from Florida, just recently moved here.
Must have been Florida.
Well, it is Arizona. It's very hot and dry, and that heat really
It does fry your
number
brain
on
a little
people's
bit.
brains. Yeah,
I'm not knocking AZ. I love AZ a lot. I love being out there, but I've noticed some good caliber folks out there. I mean, you get that everywhere.
but see, like the way CNN was spinning it and other um, news sites is that this is Trump's fault because he mentioned hydrochloroquine. And they ran out and took chloroquine phosphate. It says in an attempt to self-medicate for the novel coronavirus. And it's like,
Unless you're a doctor or a scientist that's studying this shit, don't fucking try shit.
Right. Don't try anything. And yeah, the hydrochloroquine thing, I think that comes out of China's science lab saying that they've seen some positive results. But yeah, there's no conclusive anything, and I think Trump should shut up about it.
Well, there's a lot of things Trump should shut up about.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm still pissed off with the whole his Easter thing that he kept saying. I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah, he was pushing it. He still was pushing it like 2 days ago.
I know. I'm like, what are you?
He was like Easter.
I get it. I get it.
Like you were in Key Largo for the fucking longest time on the weekends, and now you have to work on the weekends. Like this, I guarantee this bro's brain is exploding. He's going, holy shit.
You gotta get in his mindset, right? Look how the economy's been for a little while now. It's been going up like crazy, right? This shit happens, it fucking tanks, right? He's been leading up on this whole thing, how he's making the economy great, blah blah. He's done something. Yeah, I think he's done a lot of great things for the economy. A lot of people will disagree. I think he's actually done a lot for it. I'm not even a fucking pro-Trumper whatsoever. But so his big platform is fucking economy. This shit is just boom, destroying the fuck out of it, right? So he's just saying, hey, well, we'll be back open. We just wanted it open. I wanted it open right away. Like he's going nuts because he wants it. He does not want him to finish off like, which I still think he'll get reelected, but the chances not, and he'll come back to this. Well, it's COVID that caused it. He'll always use excuses, but it's like killing his whole buildup that he's had for the economy. That everything that's been going, unemployment rates are down, this and that, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then this shit happens, and like what?
And now you got 6 million people asking for unemployment.
Yeah, all my work is destroyed, or his supposed work.
But yeah, it's unfortunate that that's what it happened under his watch. Not that he did anything wrong. Well, I mean, there's stuff that could have been done, but when you're working with incomplete data, it's hard to make a choice one way or another. I mean, he was stupid for saying, "Oh, we got it under control," because obviously
that's a market ploy too. It's like he didn't want to cause panic. He didn't want to do anything to, like make everything tank down. So he basically, I'll take over the show, Kyle. And so everyone's pissing. So like that, I think that's why he was playing it down too. Like obviously at the point too when he was saying it, they may have had knowledge. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's knowledge of how crazy. Nobody knew how nuts it was actually going to turn out to be.
Well, yeah.
But obviously he was playing it off.
So.
Yeah, but it was still spreading other places at that time, and he was playing it off like we're America, we're the best.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen. It's like just being a total dumbass about it. At the same time, I think he was also trying to play it like trying to keep that market safe because he's got a lot invested in that market too, man. He's got a lot of his money in that.
But look at it this way, right? So the news blows up about this coronavirus, and suppose right at that moment they shut down the airports from any incoming flights from around the world. Right. You probably never have to get to a point where you have to shut down the economy, because whoever could potentially be carrying it isn't getting into the country.
Right. But, it's here. It's spread.
I mean,
And
yeah,
we
right now it's
talked
easy to
about it.
talk, 2020 vision, but
Right. And then like we discussed it, I think, in the last podcast I was on with Kyle and with Joe. We were totally talking about like my theory or my opinion was like just shutting the whole economy down completely, like, worldwide. Just shut it all down and only keep open truly the essential things was food and trucking, power grids and that kind of shit like that. Keeping only the very bare minimum essentials open, and that's it. And freezing everything, like freezing fucking mortgages, freezing rent, freezing all credit, all this. Send out the stimulus so people could go out and buy their goods and their foods
and their guns.
Things, well,
yeah.
should ready fucking have guns. God damn it, this is America.
Well, it's funny. This, the influx of the anti-gun left, all of a sudden realizing the usefulness of guns.
I know a lot of lefties that were anti-gun bought some guns in the last few weeks, or tried to at least, and they couldn't even do it. And a lot of people applied for FOID. In this lovely state of Illinois, you have to have a FOID card. And a lot of my lefty buddies, they bought them. And a lot of anti-gunners, When I say lefties, I just mean anti-gunners.
Well, they learned about the process of buying a firearm, that you just can't waltz into the store and say, "Hey, I'd like to have this gun."
Right.
They learned really quick. Like, oh, wait a second, we've been praising this the entire time, and sure enough, it's not as easy as we thought it was.
No, it's not. It's a pain in the ass.
Oh,
I mean, that's the way it is in Arizona, but.
Well, yeah, you live where I live, and it's
right. Yeah, you got.
I get it though, but I get a lot of it though. I mean, it does actually weed out, the dipshits, the bad guys, and all this kind of crap. It actually does. It's an efficient system that works.
Right. It is useful
for the most part. Like,
I mean, okay, I'll say this. Coming from Illinois to here, you definitely. Okay, it's in a weird way. You lose a lot of. What's the word I'm looking for here? You lose a lot of the as Arian said earlier, the softer people. You lose a lot of those. When I came out here, I thought maybe we were gonna hit a lot of this or that, and you do. Don't get me wrong. You definitely hit a lot of people that are strong in their beliefs in a certain way, and it's okay. Like, and I get that.
I'm proud of that.
I don't care. Like,
stay with.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Like, if that's the way you want to believe and that's the way you want to go, then do your thing. I'm not gonna personally attack you or anything like that in that sense. But coming here, I mean, it was always a joke from Arian and his wife. She always said, you're gonna marry a Republican. Let's see how this goes with your parents. Like, oh, okay. Well, look, I understand my parents are over there, but at the same time, it's not going to really affect them to that certain extent.
Right.
And the way when I came out here is you kind of lost that little bit of the safe place people. You kind of lost them a little bit, like how Illinois was. Illinois was very, you had a bubble. Don't burst my bubble of love and relaxation and.
I'll sum it up for you. Pussies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of pussies around here.
Yeah.
A lot of pussies around here.
So when
the
I came
rose-colored glasses.
Exactly.
Much.
So when I came out here, it was completely different. You run into a lot more. I'm not going to say right wing because people always think
rednecks.
Arizona. People, no. See,
not even rednecks.
No. People think
Arizona,
the
ones I know. Sorry.
See, people think in Arizona. People think when they think of Arizona, they think of like rednecks or like right-wing people. I don't see that as much as I do. I mean, maybe it's different because I'm in college, but you see more people that are just logical. They don't, and they're not the same beliefs as me per se, but they have a sense of, this is right and this is wrong, and we can kind of come to the middle and agree to disagree. And seeing that is powerful as shit. Don't get me wrong. That is powerful as shit to be able to go into a classroom, and you look at someone and you go, oh God, like you look at someone and it's like how you always, to a sense, you judge a book by its cover, right? You look at that person and you go, oh God, like this person's going to be way over here or way over here. But then you listen to them and how they speak and how they talk. And I think that's the biggest eye opener in college for me, is that you really listen to these people and you really understand what they're saying to a certain extent. And once you dive deeper into what they're really saying, you can really understand that they're not over here on the far right, they're not here on the far left, they're not even here in the middle. They're speaking the truth, is what it is. That was the biggest thing that I came to school with. Now, don't get me wrong, you still have people way over here and you have still people way over
Right.
here. But at the same time, from the people I surround myself with personally, from what I've found, for if I could average it out, right? I mean, obviously I've surrounded my people with people here and here, and I want to be able to bring them to the middle to where it makes sense on both sides, right? And not even at a political view, more of just like a common sense, like logical view of life. And it's interesting to see that it's not born, it didn't come from them from when they were born or when they grew up or how they got to now or where they got to now. It's more of just this like combined effort to really see what's right and what's wrong. And it's just weird. It's weird because coming from Illinois, it was either you are racist and on the right or you are a little bitch on the left. That's pretty much what it was, right?
Yeah.
That's all it was. And coming here, it was, and I feel like that could be at any school, really, really. Honestly, I think any college, I think that's how you kind of get it, and that's like that's the excitement of it too, is that you're able to see these people here and here kind of come together and like kind of stay together and kind of be in this like circle of not really trust, but at the same time, I can get along with this person can get along with this person, and although my family may be out into the right and left very far in the political views, when they come to the middle as the kids, I guess you could say, it's very interesting to see because it's not that I learn about, okay, on a daily basis, I learn zero things. I'll be honest with you. I'm in school. I mean, that's not what my dad wants to hear. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying the school aspect, right? But in a social aspect, I don't learn many things day to day. But as time progresses, you see where certain people land on the how would I say it? The mental capacity that they have. Because I feel like only certain people have mental capacities that only can contain certain amount of knowledge or certain things that are right and wrong, right? I mean, Arian, I don't know. I mean, there's like little leaks in his head somewhere where things go one way or the other of right and wrong, but it's okay. And that's okay. And that's what
Moral balance.
no, exactly. And that's what I found here. That's what I found here at school. That's the coolest thing in the world is like, coming from Illinois, you just deal with one side or the other, and that's it. And it's like, fuck you. If you're not on the either side, you're an idiot, right? Like,
Pretty much.
How can you not agree with me here? How can you not agree with me here? But here at school, it's like it's weird. I got out of a bubble at school at home. I got out of a bubble and I came here and I got into another bubble. But the bubble at home was so small. Here, it's so expanded that you can't really, see the outside.
You're taking people from all over the country. Mostly, I'm going to say, like, well, you got a lot of local AZs and California people. But you got a lot of people from all over the place converging into one spot. That's college. And they're going to have a lot of different views, a lot of different opinions. And that's where dude, college is great for that shit, dude. You just have all these different personalities and different thoughts and ideas all put together. So, yeah, that's where you're learning all that good shit. And you're going to see that in the college. But you go outside the college, it's going to be a little different, man. You're going to be outside of campus. So things are going to get a little bit more like it is here, a little right and left,
I totally get what Kyle's saying though, because it's like, because it's at least in my experience is pretty rare, but that's why it can be such a visceral experience when you have a person that's got a certain set of beliefs, and they could define those beliefs, they could explain to you their beliefs and why they believe that, versus just some guy like, well, I'm gonna do what I want because America, with a rebel flag flapping in the background, and that's like, you can't take somebody like that seriously. But even if it's something that I disagree with, if they could sit there and like explain to me their position, I could be receptive to that, because they're just not, well, you're wrong. You don't believe what I believe, so you're a dumbass, because that's it seems like the norm for both sides.
And
But when
yeah,
you could actually have a conversation with somebody,
and that's the big problem with like this whole right left shit. And I find that like most people are really not that open minded. Like when they're
no.
really set in their left ways or their right ways, they're just not.
Yeah.
It's hard to find really open minded people. Like and I'm not trying to toot my own horn with it, but I'm very open minded. I listen to both sides of everything. I love hearing this and that. I love debating it. I love giving my opinion on how I feel about it. But I'm not afraid of changing my position on things. If I'm
Right.
educated to a point, it's okay. I will change my position. Well, people get like, "Oh, you can't change." Like, no, you can change your mind. All right, that's the
Right.
best thing about it. Like, if you're an
See,
open-minded person, you can actually change your mind. It's not hard to do that. It's just
But-
you got to be open-minded
That's the
and
coolest.
accept.
Yes,
shit,
exactly.
you
That
know?
is the coolest part. That is the coolest part about being where you are right now. I mean,
I feel like this
think
guy's high as shit right now. You sure you're not smoking? You take an edible or something? Yeah.
no,
Like, I don't know
I'm
if you're
feeling.
drunk. You're like,
I'm
man,
I'm feeling good, and
bro.
we're starting to get into stuff I'm passionate about. You just,
That's good,
you have to look at it like it's interesting. It's interesting. Think about where we are, what we're doing right now. We all three of us have blurred backgrounds on a software, and where we're blurring our backgrounds and we're talking shit, and
Right.
you're able to express yourselves, to that certain extent. Now that makes me sound like I'm high as shit. Are we living in a Are we living in a simulation? Whoa.
No, we're living in America.
Whoa.
We're living in
Exactly.
America where you have, it's one of the most free countries in the world. I'd say, if not the most, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I could
free
put myself
free
in-
to a certain point, which
Yeah.
I would love to. I know he's got some. Oh, sorry. I didn't say your real name, did I?
Oh, all right. Well, it's okay.
Great.
Because
Now the feds are going
I'll
to be
bleep that out. I'll bleep that out.
We're
but I'll
recording.
post
We're
that up.
recording. Remember that we're recording right
Yeah,
now. It's
so-
2:01:05. Make sure we blurt that out right there.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
That'll make it a lot easier when I'm hungover.
Cut me out too. Cut me out too right here in this part right here.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's a lot to cut out.
that's okay.
I'll bleep out that. That'll be too easy.
But
no,
yeah,
but-
but no,
I
I
lost
get
where
what-
I'm standing at now because
but it's okay because it's this aspect of being able to just kind of do what you want, say what you want, and have that. How Roscoe does it right here is where we're able to get on a thing like social media, like Facebook. I mean, damn, you guys are old. Facebook, really? You guys are still on
hey,
Facebook?
Fuck you. Fuck
You guys,
dude.
you guys been on Twitter yet?
We used to be on MySpace,
No,
motherfucker.
I'm
you
on
ever on
Twitter.
MySpace?
You're on Twitter? You're on Twitter too? All right, see,
Oh,
Twitter.
MySpace, son. Come on. Were you
See-
ever on MySpace?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. That's old
But
school.
see, Twitter. Sometimes I want to do like a 3-paragraph rant, and I can't do that on Twitter.
I like Facebook because like I get like ranting and I get funny videos. I get all the good shit.
Right.
Like I get it's a mishmash of stuff. It's not just like what somebody like says. Like I don't give a shit what you tweet. I really don't care. Half the time, look, I'm gonna sound like a complete retard. I don't like reading a lot when I'm on Facebook. I just like looking at the pictures and short little things. All right, it's a quick little gifs. If I wanna read something, I'll get a book. I'll read. Go crazy. I hate when people post like this paragraphs of shit on Facebook, because I'm like, ugh. Most of the time I'm on the crapper, and I just want to look at something funny, something that makes me giggle. I scroll up. Oh, there's a cute picture. There's a fun video. Blah blah blah. I don't need the whole the tweet shit. Oh, I don't care about the little comments. That's the thing. Like, oh, you got Instagram. It's just people taking pictures of like chicks their asses, that's nice. Don't get me wrong. That's not a bad thing.
I mean, I can't complain.
But that's
a
a whole separate, separate thing.
But see, so I'll say this, and we'll get into the other aspect here in a second. But so you have Instagram, in a sense, I kind of stopped following a lot of wasteful people. You follow someone because they're good looking. I deleted them. It was stupid. It was like I was younger at the time, and I was like, oh yeah, this person's hot. Sure, let's follow them. Let's see them
Right.
post pictures of their butts. But as time progressed, I decided to unfollow those people because it's like, is that really going to progress towards my mindset of where I want to go and what I want to do? So I kind of
Right.
want to be able to bring in, more aspects of what I really want to do for the rest of my life and who I want to surround myself with. I may have gone to high school with this person. I might follow them since 9 years ago, or however long Instagram's been around. But at this time, I'm done. You're not a part of my life at all right now. Why would I be a part of yours? So I do that with Instagram. Instagram more is for me. It's memes. I think memes are hilarious. I
Right.
think those are the greatest thing in the world. Memes are hilarious, and other Instagram things too are like, oh yeah, like oh shit, like Jackie or so and so is getting married and they're 23 years old. Holy shit!
Yeah, but all that shit's
I
on
don't even know what
Facebook
I was
though.
doing yesterday. See,
But
yeah,
all
but
that shit's on
true,
Facebook.
true. See, okay, look, I'll say it like this. For me, this is how it goes. Twitter is for sports news. For me, that's how I find my most prevalent sports news.
I just go to ESPN.com, but all right, doesn't matter.
Okay? Exactly.
It's not bullshit crap, but all right.
Instagram is more for me catching up on people's lives that are, closer to my age.
What do you mean other
And
lives? Like, what's on Instagram that's like so captivating?
I don't know. I mean, we had
I'm trying to find this Instagram account that I'm going to share with you guys because I don't know, it might be a little demented, but it's fascinating to me, and I want to get their name right.
I'm down.
but
But
yeah,
it's
so like, but like that, but like Instagram. So I kind of see like you can. So okay, on Instagram compared to Snapchat, I think Snapchat can do it now, but Instagram you can share with just close friends,
Okay.
which where I think one of our friends, I won't say his name, but he, bought a tortoise. He adopted a tortoise in Arizona, and like some
Cool.
weird, whatever. But like you see some shit like that, so you see what they're doing without talking to them. Because obviously in school here, I have friends, but the friends are like this. It's like these friends here are the party friends, and then these friends here are the ones I talk to day to day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of how you go through life. But then at a certain point, you kind of weed out these people, and these people kind of come in a little bit. You know what I mean? You get to talk day to day, and so you can still party with these friends, but at the same time, you're not like just talking to them because you party. So to a certain point, I can understand that. So I look at that as, Instagram is more of a meme / like kind of see what's going on with people's lives. Twitter is sports. Facebook, I'll tell you this right now.
Sure.
I'm talking to family right now, okay? What is Facebook to me? Facebook to me is family. Keep it kosher. Keep it kosher on Facebook to me. That's my mindset. But that's just how I've been like. But now you got this other. But wait. But now, Aaron, I told you about this the other day, and I don't know if Roscoe knows it too. But the new thing is TikTok. So what used to be Vine is now TikTok.
Yeah.
And they do like these. They do these like videos or whatever, and you see it pop up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is.
I actually like Vine better, but whatever.
Yeah, because it was 6 seconds of someone shaking their ass, so it was okay. It was a good time. But so with this one, it's a little bit different. So I find myself addicted to it a little bit because you want to watch videos. Videos are more fun than pictures. Videos because people are doing things, and obviously they're probably recording it 9, 10 times, 11 times before they finally get it and they can post it. Sure, whatever. I don't really care. But you watch it and you get kind of addicted to it to a certain point. So that's how TikTok is. It's more of just like I didn't even create a profile. You don't have to create a profile. You're there, you're watching it, whatever. Boom, you're in. And like here, before you get into it with the Instagram, I will say this is that one of my old roommates, he never had any social media. So he had no Twitter, no Facebook, no Instagram, nothing, right? And
what's he hiding?
Yeah, right. That's what I was always wondering what he was hiding, but he never felt the urge to get into it. Eventually, I think he made an Instagram, but that was it. I think that's all he still has, just an Instagram, and I think he just doesn't more to follow people. But whenever I would share something with them, you know how if you go on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook and you share something with someone, and they go, "Oh yeah, like that's hilarious," he'd always say, "Well, I already saw that." So then you kind of like try to understand it. So someone that doesn't involve themselves with social media, they sit there on Google and they go through threads pretty much.
Yeah.
And they can look at Facebook, they can look at Instagram, they can look at Twitter, they can look at whatever else. So it's just very interesting to think. But I want to hear this Instagram page.
It's called Crime Scene Cleaners Inc.
Yeah, right.
And this is a company, and basically what they do is, whether it's like crime scenes or suicides or whatever, they come and clean everything up. and they post like they don't post dead bodies or anything like that, but they post like the before and after pictures. So you'll
Nice.
have this crime scene that's like, blood all over the place and, shit's messed up. And then they post a picture after it's been cleaned. And you're like, wow, that's impressive.
Like, I want to hire these guys to clean my house.
Yeah, man. They could clean
Need my
that
maid
mess up.
service.
They could
Yeah,
clean
right.
my mess up.
Oh man. Okay.
You gotta
Okay.
share me that shit.
So no. Okay. Well, you got to get Instagram for this one. But this is hilarious. So it says right here underneath their name. I just requested to follow them. So their suicide is bad. Choose to live. Graphics / educational content. If you a bitch, I block. And then underneath it, it says suggested for you the funeral life. Like, come on, that's great. But like, see, but pages like that are able to exist because there's people out there that don't get sensitive. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
And
Well,
that's
there's guys
kinda-
like us. Most of us here.
It's full circle. It's full circle. How Roscoe said it earlier is that you were able to look at it and, well, some people are sensitive, some people aren't. You deal how you want to deal, and that's how we get. And that's kind of like how Instagram is. But that's how Facebook is. So that's why I kind of wanted to bring it up to you guys, is because we talked about it earlier, how the word triggered kind of came into play how many years ago, right? Okay, I'm 23 years old. At 23 years old, what the hell were you guys doing?
Oh my god, I had no idea, dude. I had no idea I was doing in life at 23.
I mean, what kind of phone did you guys have at that
was-
point?
Oh, a lot of fun.
23?
We
That
were-
would have been, what, 14 years ago?
So was that a Razor then?
13?
Oh, Razor. Fun. You know what fun we're having? We weren't on our phones 14 years ago or whatever. the
Yeah,
hell it
like
was.
you wouldn't
15 years
be
ago.
so you weren't. So
Back
were you
your
not
phone
texting?
couldn't do anything. It could text and it could call,
I
but
think me and whoever were living together at the time. I gotta bleep that out again. What time was that at?
2:11:10.
2:11:10. So me and Roscoe were living together. I apologize for that one, but I mean, half a bottle of bourbon and shit slips out, dude. Whatever. I've known you for what, 35 years plus. I mean, I'm
Right.
36 now, so I mean, it's gonna slip every now and then. Um,
well, yeah,
we were
That's
living
what-
together back then.
that's 2006.
Yeah,
Yeah?
we lived twice.
Okay, so the
06,
Bears
and
went
then
to the Super Bowl that year. Okay, continue.
around that time. We were Jesus, dude. We were, I don't know, just got drunk. We made video. Oh, we videotaped everything though. That's what I do
Yeah.
remember. We used camcorders. That's what we did. We used camcorders for everything. And Roscoe here fucking videotaped everything. Holy shit, yeah.
But that was before social media.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't video record it. I mean, your cell phone might have had a camera, but that camera was absolutely rubbish. It wasn't good for anything. You best post something to MySpace, but
Yeah, but that's when MySpace just
different
started
world.
too.
yeah,
that's when MySpace
so
just started. And we were
YouTube, there was no
texting-
Facebook.
texting was like just starting out to like becoming a big thing. Like it was around before that for a few years, but really wasn't that huge. You called people and talked to them. on the phone.
I am.
Oh.
I am.
Yeah.
Yahoo.
So we did a lot of IM, a lot of there's people who were blogging.
Oh yeah,
shit.
AOL, MSN
AOL.
Messenger, all that.
Yeah. There was Nextel walkie-talkies. That's all a lot of people
Oh
actually
yeah,
talked
there we
back.
go.
Oh, fun, dude. Nextel walkie-talkies.
See,
were-
so okay, so the way I bring this up is
So-
because now you can find yourself in a okay. So, although I find myself in this awesome bubble of, mindsets out here, you also find yourself in this very close mindset of that you can sit at a party and be bored out of your mind. You can be at the club and you can be on your phone and you're texting that person, the guy or girl or whatever you're into, saying, I want to come over right now. I want to sleep with you or whatever it is, right? So I want to know, was that ever, and it's just because this is the age gap between us right now, right?
Yeah.
I want to know, was there ever that aspect where you sat around the fire with your buddies and you texted that, you had that girl's number and you were able to text her and be like,
No.
yeah, I can't wait to sleep in your bed after 9 minutes of texting T9 on your phone.
You had some of the IM stuff by yourself, like on your computer. But like, when you're on your buddies and all that stuff, if you were trying to holler at some ass, Holler. That's some old school talk right there. You
Holla.
actually got on your phone and you took it and you dialed it all up. You spun it one digit at a time and you called them. You know, like a booty call was literally a call. Hey, let's come on over for some ass. I mean, back then maybe there's a couple texts, but it was a pain in the ass back then because you didn't have I didn't slide my thumb up and have there's a full keyboard. No, you use the 9 digits and you're doing the 9999. It was a pain in the ass back then.
Yeah, because like even looking back on cell phones, like I remember when Bluetooth first came out, and it was like, wow,
that was space age. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was space age, and like the first phone I had with that was a Sony Ericsson T68i, and at the time that phone was like cutting edge. You could actually it had an attachment you could connect that would give you a camera that took the most god awful pictures. But at the time, it was brilliant. Like, wow, I got a camera everywhere, But yeah, I mean, from the way people communicate now versus then, everything was. I mean, you would text some, but it was tedious. So you just call. Yeah, now I could tell Siri, send a message to Kim, and it'll type it out for me.
Yeah, so unless you have remember the sidekicks when the first sidekicks came out?
Yeah.
Then you're like, you had a full keyboard. So those people that had sidekicks were like, oh shit, you have a full
you could
keyboard.
Hammer away on that thing.
Like those full keyboard phones that came out. That was like when texting really blew up because you're just like, I could pound this shit out. But like the shit we grew up with, like when me and Roscoe grew up with, it was fucking straight up like buttons were like it was stupid.
T9 texting,
Yeah, it was horrible. We grew up with pagers.
Yeah.
Well, but think about it.
911.
Oh yeah, think about it in this aspect too. Like, all right, this is how I'll expand it to you guys. Is that okay? You sat there and you used to take a camera, right? A camera that would have maybe you could see like a little picture, maybe you couldn't, right? So you start with the no, so you take the picture, right? And then you're able to then get to the point where you're able to take the picture and see the picture on there. So then when you draw to the point where I like that's the weirdest part is in my lifetime I was able to remember when my sister got a camera where you could see it on there and you could turn it around and you could take a selfie. But before it was called a selfie, you could take a selfie and have it a picture of you and you could see the picture of you and we go, let's take it again with some flash, whatever, right? And then you progress to the point where how you just said it, Arian, was where you had a sidekick where you could flip it up and you could throw a long text message in about, baby, I want to spend all night with you, right?
That's how we did it, son.
To now, how you send one message per line where it says like, hello, how are you? I want to see you again. What are you doing? And it's like 40 messages.
That drives me crazy when people
all in one bubble. So think about how the time has progressed where you've gone from a picture where before it was called a selfie, you took a camera with a digital picture, to then you took a picture with a phone, and then vice versa where you're on a phone where you were texting before, where you had a sidekick or whatever it was, where you could send a text message out and you were the coolest cat in school or whatever it was, to now where it's like, oh, you send mass text messages? Like, what is wrong with you? Are you sick? Are you sick?
I'm actually on a max. I'm on one of those like text chains with my wife's family here, and the only reason I haven't deleted it because of pure fucking boredom during this quarantine shit. But no, I get it. It was so different back then. Like we just like are saying, we're like it was just you just fucking texted. That's it. You didn't text. Yeah. You called. You made a call. There was no texting back then. You made a call. You trying to hook up with some chick. It was just straight up. It was a phone call.
Yeah,
that's how we did it.
It's weird. It's weird though. It's weird that the transitions.
Dude, advanced.
There's no way that between me and you and Roscoe here that could establish the position change. You know what I mean? The actual change itself of going from a digital camera to a phone. You can't tell me a year. I guarantee you can't. I mean, you can guess.
Oh,
but I guarantee in that year you found yourself taking a picture with a camera to then all of a sudden taking a picture with a phone. I mean, sure, when the iPhone came out, then before that you had the actual, before that you had the actual iPod Touch or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to understand is that you really, there's no way that, and I mean, unless you can, if you can, then awesome, tell me. But there's no way that you can be able to tell me when a digital camera went like this to all of a sudden, like boom, all of a sudden we're using our phones or something that we can put in our pocket. You know what I mean?
Technology jumps so fast, dude. It was insane how quick it happened too. Like there was like a few years where like we had these phones and they were doing all this crazy stuff. There's so many of them, and then like when the iPhone came out, dude, it changed everything. It was a complete game changer.
iPhone and Android pretty much hit the scene around the same time, and they were huge game changers. But even if you look at the first iPhone, like phones 2007, I mean, yeah, the photos that they took were great for a phone, but they were still shit. And even now, like even this is the newest iPhone, and the pictures it takes are amazing. But I have an SLR camera that can do things that it's still
float on the water.
Yeah.
But that's the coolest part. That's the coolest part, though. Think about it. If you think about it, your parents can sit there and go, "Oh yeah, I remember when it went from nothing to a computer. Like it was this game-changing year of our lives, right? Where we went from nothing to all of a sudden you can get on this computer and do things, right?" And I mean, obviously they maybe were a little slower coming into it, and that's how kind of like as we progress now, you still see it, but that progression, you saw it. They could say, I guarantee you could talk to them and they could say, "Oh yeah, I remember this year at around this time that they had this aspect of change." But then you look at it now of when it's changed from a digital camera to a device of changing, and it's minimal. It's very minimal. You know what I mean? There's not much of a. It wasn't like a full year of going, holy shit, like this is what we have. This is so cool. No, because by the time you thought about that, the next thing was out like that. And now how we look and now how we look at it too is but we're spoiled as shit.
Oh yeah.
We are spoiled as shit, and I can guarantee it because you can now look at it and you can have this conversation 30 years from now. And you go, "Oh, do you remember when this phone came out to this phone? Oh yeah, it was minimal difference like this, and then the next one was like this, and the next one was like this, and it just kept coming up and up and up and up, and it's there and it's there and it's always there. There's never a time now, and I guarantee until the day we die, there is not a time that we're gonna find ourselves in a moment where we're going, well, when are we gonna teeter to this point? When are we gonna teeter to this point? No, you're there already. You're already there. I mean, maybe deeper because I mean we've talked about it where. I think it would be kind of cool if we were able to watch TV to a certain point where I can watch the TV on this side and have the people on the other side watch the exact same screen.
We're going to get to a point where we're going to watch TV where there's not going to be a TV. It's just going to be like, boom, you're going to throw in, a
little implant or something. Yeah,
exactly.
That's the point you get.
But yeah, but Kyle's right though, because you can't define a single point where something went from mundane to brilliant because everything is such a slow transition.
True, but I'm not gonna lie though, when like the whole iPhone shit came out though, it was kind of
like as far as technology, that was
I think it was kind of like whoa for like phone technology, like wow, and then which then blew up into a whole other level of tablets and everything because that's the iPad came out, which I still remember when the iPad came out, and I was one of the assholes that bought it right away because they're like, oh, this is cool, and they're like, this is going to change the world, and everyone's like, no, it's not, it's just a giant iPod. And look what it did, dude. Like everything's a tablet. Everything's like I'm right now. The Surface that I'm using right now to talk to you guys.
Remember the size of the first iPhone? Now look at these monsters.
I know.
11 plus.
They went monster huge screens, thinned out. But like I still remember like the first time using it. Like it blew my mind. I'm like I could start moving shit around on my fingers. Like wow, this is nuts.
This is voodoo.
Absolutely nuts.
But
Drunky McGee's got to go take a piss.
Well, I guess I'll wait for the rant until he gets back. But I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's just there's 2007 when the iPhone first hit and Android 2, because those phones are brilliant in their own right. That like changed everything, and that's like the one key point. But then you get from that point to now, everything is a slow transition.
Yeah.
But even what was that?
My garage door.
Is your roof gonna cave in?
Yeah, no, it was the wife came out to have a cigarette or something.
Hearing
sure what
right on camera.
I ain't going out like a bitch. No, the roof came in. No, but yeah, it is crazy. And like, still waiting for Kyle to come back for that, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You can catch it later. Like I remember, I don't remember if I told you this. Like it was back. Maybe I was talking to Tom or somebody else, but like it's a long time ago. Back in '96.
Uh-huh.
Like they were, computers were starting to really like pump up a little bit there. You're like, oh shit, things are, because after Windows 95 came out, things were starting to pump up like crazy. And I was like, dude, I had this theory, like, dude, one day we're gonna have computers in our pockets, man. It's gonna be a computer in your pocket, and it's gonna be that. And everyone's like, nah, come on, computer in your pocket. You're gonna be wearing a computer. People are like coming up with other ideas, like you're wearing one. I'm like, nah, you could have a full computer in your pocket. I mean, that's exactly what this shit is, dude.
Yeah.
You have a fucking full-blown computer right there in your pocket. Do whatever the hell you want. It's so, I know a lot of, like some of the listeners, like especially like Kyle's age, they don't understand any of this shit. They weren't even born around that time or know what the hell was going on. Like for us though, it's crazy, dude. It's been like, think about it, like what we've gone through. Like,
well, yeah, that's our generation though. We saw like, the computer transition from something that you just do word processing on to something like, when Wolfenstein first came out, it was like, whoa.
Yeah. Oregon Trail. Wow.
It went from Oregon Trail to Wolfenstein to do.
And now you're playing like COD and whatever else, another game. No, it's just nuts.
We grew up in that transition and the development of it. I mean, look at back now. Even look at these crazy multi-core processors, and like what the first dual core came out was 2005, and how much it has progressed in that 15 years.
Oh yeah, it's nuts. And what's funny, what I like about the technology aspect of it, sorry, a little stuttery there, but Kyle, I love talking to Kyle about this, and it's not just Kyle, it's a lot of kids his age. And I'm sorry to call you kids. I know you're grown ass fucking men, but you're really not, because to me you're still a child. Like anything below 30 is just a child. Like
you're not a man until you suck another man's dick for cocaine.
Yeah. That was a rough summer in 04.
Yeah. That was a rough summer in 04.
But I became a man that year.
And it turned out sugar, not even cocaine.
Yeah. It was the pixie stick. What a bastard. That was one big black cock. God damn. Anyway, what was I getting to? Now that I'm thinking about how I got raped in my throat that one summer. How his age, and I'm sorry for saying kids, because once again, I'm not trying to insult any of you guys. Like, to me, you're still children because you're younger than me, and to me, it's like you don't become a man until you're like plus 30 something. Like, I just recently became one, so so I'm new to it, so I'm gonna use that.
But that's the fun part. That's the fun part, because when you get to yourself at the age of, hopefully, as your cousin, hopefully at the age of 52 years old, you'd say, well, you're not a man until you hit 40. You know what I mean?
Right, and I think that number jumps up the higher your age group is. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, your age group is gotten so into this tech shit that, like, or not into it, more like they're so used to the tech that they have no care of how it works or how anything is. It's just a tool that they use every single day. While me and Roscoe here grew up with this shit, and we saw it evolve, and we know how it works and how it became to what it is. And guys like me, like I think well, he's got his techie experts and things, and I've got my techie experts and other shit. But like, we know the inner workings how this stuff is, and why your generation just doesn't really give a shit. There's like actually a lower number of people that are interested in like how to make these things work and advance the shit in the future. Like for coding, it's a big drop off there. There's a lot of people your age that just don't give a fuck. They just know that, hey, guess what? I got this thing. It works. I want it to work. I don't care how it works. Boom, just give it to me.
Well, because the deepest way you can think about it right now, and how our world is working right now, is, okay, you have to think about how many people are in this world. We talked about this the other day. It was like 328 million or something like that.
In this country,
excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah,
world
like
is
330 million.
It was like 7 billion in the country.
Four-
in the world,
Seven billion in the world, like 330 million in the.
Okay, so
Actually, like
330, so 3 whatever. So
Right.
there's 300 plus million in this country itself.
Yeah.
You have to think in the deepest aspect. Obviously, now I saw it on the news the other day. I mean, this is the most I've ever watched news in my life. Is this time right now? I will say that right now. I can say that right now. I will say that to you. Is that there's a certain amount of states that aren't doing like the lockdown in place because whatever they've been doing is pretty much the exact same thing as lockdown in place, right? I mean, like how Arizona was. Doug Ducey was doing the exact same thing where you know what I mean? Like everything was already pretty much closed and now we're in lockdown. So what? So now you can't go to like the other golf courses that you wanted to go to? Okay, whatever. Anyways. So the way you can kind of look at that is that where the hell was I going?
Yeah, I would love to know.
What were we talking about?
Technology. I don't know where the fuck it spun up to that.
That's why you
I was
don't
wondering.
drugs, kids.
Drugs. I don't know. I lost it. I felt good. going into it.
I know. I thought it was like there was something going there, and then it just went into fucking absolutely nothing.
It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
All right. So I was going to get to a rant before Kyle went away, and this is it's technology related, and it comes down to consumer perspectives or perceptions, right? And we're talking about how good cell phone cameras have gotten, and if it wasn't for consumer perception that the more megapixels you have, the better the picture, because that's not true at all, right? This camera on the iPhone 11 has 12 megapixels on an image sensor that is smaller than shit. And that is bonkers. It makes no sense, right? Because the more megapixels you have, that means each individual pixel is smaller, meaning it can't gather as much light, meaning you don't get as clear of a picture. So they can make these cameras so much better if they stuck in, say, half the megapixels, 6. But of course, the market perception is that
more megapixels makes it bigger, right? Bigger number is better, right?
Yeah, that's the market perception. So you know, Apple and Samsung.
That's fucking America, bro. The bigger the number, the better. All right.
Yeah, and so they're in these battles to get the most megapixels crammed into these tiny little sensors, and that's just bonkers.
Is that why my pictures are getting shittier every year? Every fucking phone I get, my pictures are getting shitty and shittier every year.
See, but it's weird. If you think about it. Okay, you could look at a Samsung Galaxy S2, right? For example, compared to S3. So whatever it is, and what we're on then, we were probably in the iPhone 7 or 8. That picture on a camera was probably better than it was then, right? Like it's weird. It's weird because it's weird because you're able to go from, you know, the Galaxy S bullshit now to the iPhone bullshit now, and you could take a picture with both and go, well, this one looks better here, but this one looks better here, right? But then once this next one comes out here, this one's still here, this one has a better picture, and this one still has a shittier picture. Then this one comes forward, and it's the next best picture. So it's weird. It's weird. Again, it comes back to my thing full circle, I think, is because you're going from a digital camera where you're taking a picture before a selfie was a selfie. Yeah. Where you take a picture of yourself with a camera with a flash and you can turn it around and see yourself on that camera, to now where you can sit here with a phone and, like, don't get me wrong, I have an iPhone 8, okay?
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
dude, I use this thing to trim my balls. Like, I look at the back of it, just through the camera on it, and I'm just like lifting it up, and I'm like, boom. Like, it's better than a mirror because, like, you can zoom in and be like, oh, I missed this spot.
He hit the certain part of the podcast. He goes, fuck it, I'm gonna start getting to my personal life.
Oh, I think I passed that a while ago. I think
he's gonna show us a demonstration next of how he does it.
Yeah, I gotta go. I didn't bring my clippers down.
Let's you know what? We're at the stage, we're all a little bit probably tipsy, so let's just make things really weird now.
All right, I like it. I'm all about it.
The fact that we can point out behind Arian right now is a tarp.
Yeah, that's a tarp. I'm covering up all my equipment back here, yeah.
That's what we can point out.
I was trying to look trying to look less trashy on this thing in my
Look,
garage.
okay. So I will say I'll bring this up. Because I've talked to Arian about this before, and Roscoe, I want to hear your input on this one. Is that okay? So I've seen you smoke the I don't know what is that, a smock or
That
what
thing
what
is
No,
gigantic.
it's a vaporizer. That's I forgot what this is. I forgot what company makes this one, but it's called a Prism, and the tank
okay.
is from whatever. You know,
Okay.
it's
So I mean, so it's funny because in this video alone, you can see the three aspects of smoking something with nicotine in it.
right.
You can get your
Yeah.
you have your Prism, now you have your Juul, and then you
Yeah.
have your cigarette or a cigar,
Yeah,
which
your real man's shit.
the
Real man's shit right
the
here.
bros chain smoking. So I don't know, like
Drinking. Leave me alone.
so no, but so it's funny because you can look at it and go, you can get your aspect of different smoking aspects. And I've talked to Arian about this before, is that, when the government kind of came out with the thing saying, oh, we're gonna ban, the mint flavored Juul pods. Well, so now you're telling me that I'm not allowed to smoke something that has a flavor of mint anymore. So now
Yeah.
I have a problem because you're taking away something that I enjoy. And
Welcome to
this,
government.
this happened
Yeah.
6 months ago. Actually, this is one of the things, obviously against of how we were just talking about how technology transferred into the new age as we progressed. Smoking, I can remember it 6 months ago. I was able to smoke a mint Juul pod, but then as literally weeks progressed, that's gone. There's no more of that. So now I gotta go to something called. Ready for this one? I'll hit you with this one, guys. It's called a puff bar. And a
What?
puff bar, and yes, and now a puff bar, you know where that is originated from? You know where those are created? They are created in China. Those people that smoked the puff bars actually caught coronavirus.
That's COVID.
Yes, they caught COVID.
Is that
Because they
legit, or are
smoked
you
the
just
puff
like
bars.
reading this
Yes.
off of like?
Yes. I read it.
Did you hear that from Alex Jones?
No, I read it on Daily Herald. Perfect.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
the Examiner. Perfect.
There you go.
So
a
no,
little more legit.
yeah. If listeners are listening, the Examiner is one of those newspapers that you get in Illinois that no one wants, but you get them anyways for free. But anyway, so you got those things with the puff bars for the longest time. And then eventually we decided to go back to the Juul because they have menthol. So menthol is the closest thing we get to mint, right? Menthol, mint.
Right.
This, like you think about in your head, you think of mint. So you smoke menthol, so you get kind of close to it, but you're not that close to it at all. I mean, the things I would do for a mint Juul pod right now, like in a weird way. It's like if you could point back to Arian, if you could go back to your time when you were younger and you could have that one cigarette you had that changed your life, that you smoked and you went, yes, like this is what I want right now. If you could go back and have that right now, that's what I have right now with this. And it's
I can't have that right now because all these are completely legal. So
Do you know?
all
Do you know
flavors
what?
too.
Not too long ago, I wanted. I stopped smoking quite some time ago, but it just came into my head like, you know what? I'd like to have a clove. I haven't had a clove in,
Oh my
maybe a
God,
decade.
clothes, yeah.
Only to realize that they are banned now.
Really?
You cannot
Is
get.
that why you
clove
can't find
anymore.
that shit? That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
No,
that was-
I haven't had one since 2002.
yeah,
close.
and I just wanted one so bad. So I went to this store and I went to that store, and they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, and I felt like an idiot, right? Like I just came in there making shit up, like I'm
Then I had to
cracked out
Google
or
it.
something. Yeah. So I Googled it. I'm like, all right, well, maybe I can buy them online somewhere, only to find out that they're banned. In fact, goes back way back, where they banned all types of flavored cigarettes, other than the traditional and the menthol.
Yeah.
So no clothes for me.
It sucks. I remember these they had more flavors for cigarettes. They had like this rainbow flavors back in the day.
Yeah,
Remember
remember
that
when
shit?
Camel came out with that line? They had
There
like
were
the
so
orange
many
one.
flavors. Orange. Oh God,
man,
yeah.
they were so good.
Who knows? They might still. I don't know if they exist or they banned them or.
No, that's all banned.
I hate that banning shit, dude. Anything banned it's so un-American.
But
See,
just,
but was
yeah,
that ever
just
like
That's how
There
it
you go.
happened with the vaping stuff.
Yeah, which is
People
bullshit
bought them
too.
cheap shit cartridges, and now they're going after vaping when it had nothing to do with it.
There's not enough research done on vaping. I know that, but they jumped the gun on that shit, which pisses me off. They just started banning
Well,
shit.
well, there isn't much research that the U.S. is doing, but like in the UK, the Royal College of Physicians have done extensive research on vaping over the past decade, and they have systematically shown that it is 99% safer than smoking because the stuff used for it, the propylene glycol, the vegetable glycerin, is all
Yeah.
food grade products, and the body is able to metabolize these substances.
I think
And
banning shit's in it. It's all horrible.
yeah, the only thing that should be banned is theft, murder, and rape. That's it.
But well, certain rape's funny. We went over that.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if you've got zombies that are out there raping
Zombie
people,
rape's okay.
they're not going to care about the law. So
And I'm okay with like prison rape because some of those guys just deserve a big old meaty black cock being shoved in their fucking little tiny white asses. I think I'm okay with that kind of rape.
Speaking of prison rape, I wonder if prison rape is as prevalent or it's just one of those things that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Does it really happen, or
Yeah, does it really happen, or is it that just something that we get an idea from Hollywood?
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to take it upon myself to commit a felony, and I'm going to go to prison and investigate.
Dude, good for you. Take it out. I don't want to lose my guns, so that's the only thing probably keeping me out of prison. I don't want to lose my right to have my guns.
Or I'll find some hobo at a truck stop, right? I'll say, listen, Pablo, that's what I'm going to call him. And I'm going to say, I'm going to give you $50 and you're going to go inside the truck stop and you're going to do an armed robbery and you're going to go to prison, right? You're not going to, don't fight it, plead guilty. I'm going to write you in prison to get the inside scoop about prison rape. Like that.
Pretty sure we could just talk to some prisoners before we send Pablo over to prison.
Have you guys watched Tiger King?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I'm only actually like 4 episodes deep. It got a little white trashy for me, but I still want to keep going with it because it is good. But my daughter kept trying to watch it. I'm like, shit, you really shouldn't be watching this shit. So, but I got to finish it off still.
Tiger King. I will say this right now. Tiger King, in a weird way, because of what was going on, it was interesting to watch. Really, it was. That was the biggest thing.
Dude, it's reality TV / documentary.
Yeah.
And it's like white trash, which makes it fun to watch. Like, dude, you love seeing like scumbags do stupid shit because it's not the norm. It's completely like not what any of us will ever do. And you're like, all right, this is fucking
right.
exciting.
That's the kind of world that we're all typically insulated from because that's just not the kind of company we keep. But everybody loves watching a train, right? Like I get kind of into that world being a trucker, and considering most truckers are good old boys from the South, right? The kind of person that looks at his brother or sister and thinks, so yeah. So I'm the minority in that industry because, I don't talk like I got marbles in my mouth and I don't wear Velcro shoes and I can speak clearly. And so I see that like kind of like dirty, nasty, white trashiness kind of thing in the industry.
Oh man, I would love to hear you on the CB radio just trolling people. I would love to hear that shit.
Truckers in general are people who they're so easy to aggravate or trick, if that's the word you want to use, because it seems like they are people that they're like the kind of like hyper alpha male types where they need to prove themselves all the time. And this has happened so many times, right? I'm sitting at the truck stop, diner, restaurant, whatever, and you'll have 3 other truckers. We'll call them Jethro, Cletus, and Billy Bob, right? And so Jethro makes a statement. He'll say, You know what? I was driving Grapevine the other day, and it was pretty rough weather. Snow was coming down, roads were kind of slick. And because Cletus now feels insecure, he needs to say how he had a worse experience, right? So Cletus is going to say, well, I was going over Cabbage Patch, and man, your story, it ain't nothing, man. The snow was coming down. There was a goddamn avalanche, and this elk jumped in front of my truck, and the truck spun around 3 times, but I managed to get control of it, and I kept on trucking. Right now, you have Billy Bob at the end of the table. He's feeling really insecure now, so his story has to be even more batshit crazy. So Billy Bob, he's gonna tell those guys, like, "Oh, your story, it ain't nothing, man. It ain't nothing. I was driving the other day down I-70 in Kansas when this fucking dragon swooped in from the sky and he was blowing his flames and all that. And then the Sasquatch jumped on the side of my truck, nearly tipped me over, but I pulled out my 357. I shot that motherfucker right between the eyes." And the 3 truckers are sitting there like, "Oh, yeah, that's crazy." And I'm not joking. I'm exaggerating greatly, but this is what they do. They're like constantly trying to one up each other with their stories. And I'm like, God, man. And the worst part is thankful. There's silver linings to everything, and there's silver linings to COVID-19. Because a massive problem for me is like, well, Arian would know that I don't really like small talk, and unless we're going to talk about something relevant or something, why are you talking to me? Just and truckers,
leave me alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. Like,
oh, they love to make conversation.
They love to make conversation, but it's not just like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? What's going?" They'll come up to you and make a statement, like you guys were just talking. Like the one recently I remember was I'm sitting there making my coffee, and the guy comes up to me. He's like, "Oh man, their fax machine ain't working," and I'm thinking like, what? Like, what does that have to do with? I'm making my coffee, man. Like, do I look like a repairman? I can't do anything about that. And then they want to have this drawn out conversation about it. I'm like, look, man, I just want to get my coffee, get back in my truck, get on the road. Just fuck. Like, I'm sorry the fax machine isn't working, but I don't know why you're telling me about it.
Quick question here: are truck stops and rest areas still the homosexual hangouts? Just in the '90s, they used to be.
Lot lizard. Lot lizard.
No, not lot lizard. Well, we'll get into lot lizard.
Homosexual hangouts? No, they're not.
Okay, because I remember in the '90s, like truck stops and like rest areas were like. Don't ask me why I know all this, but just wondering. If that's still the case.
Oh,
so it's not.
Okay. Why do you know that?
No, it's from movies. Fuck.
No, they're not. But the lot lizards, yeah, like not all truck stops. You have to go to truck stops that are close to metro areas, like Nashville or West Memphis, and there's some around the LA area where, yeah, you're not going to get a good night's sleep because you're going to get a knock on your door at 3 a.m. And you're going to look out and you're going to see some ragged-looking thing, 1,000 miles of rough road.
Which brings me to my next question.
Have you ever slept with a lot lizard?
No. It was like, what do most of them look like? I've seen some pictures online and shit. And
you know what a lot lizard? Lot lizard reminds me of what's that movie with? Oh man, it was Roscoe Jenkins actually. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. So who was that? Who was the actor of Roscoe Jenkins?
Oh, I never saw that flick.
Oh, come on, Jamie, pull that up, man.
Oh shit! Now I gotta fucking do my job here.
God damn. Oh man, I'm already.
Roscoe Jenkins. Well, okay, look up Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. Okay, in one of the movies with Martin Lawrence, I don't know which movie it was, but he was looking for something, and he walked through like a truck stop area, and there's a black woman. She's walking with nails that are super long, and she's got a ring on every single finger except for her ring finger. And the way he can like sweet talk her, it was like, hey, how about we get a ring on that finger that is most important to you, baby? And it was something like that. And it was that movie that kind of like, I don't know if it was Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins, but it was a Martin Lewis movie, and it was just one of those moments. It was something with Big Red. Actually, it would have been, oh man. Okay, hold on. I got you. It's a Martin Lawrence movie. Wow. Google was listening to me. I typed in Martin Lawrence and it came up movies right away.
Fantastic.
Okay, National Security. You guys ever seen
Oh
National
yeah.
Security?
Yes.
2003. Okay, so National Security, Martin Lawrence, when he's looking for the red truck, it was that scene when he was in like the truck stop. That's what when Roscoe says lot lizard, that's what a lot lizard reminds me of. Is
that big
long,
old bitch.
long nails, big chick that could fuck you up no problem, and has rings on every single finger except for that one finger that she needs.
Well, now, how often have you been propositioned there?
Total, I'd say probably 3 times.
Oh, wow, you've been doing this for a while. Only 3?
Well, because generally I try to avoid the truck stops where that's going to happen, not just because lot lizards, but that's typically where the crackheads hang out and there's a lot of crime. Like West Memphis is the kind of place you only stop in if you have to get fuel and you do it during the day, right?
Okay.
Because
the South Side, West Side Chicago. I get you.
Pretty much, yeah. West Memphis.
Get in, get out.
I mean, there's times where I've had to stop at West Memphis, and chances are your door is going to get knocked on. And, they said, like, you want some company, and it's like, no, not really. I mean, I do, but not from you.
I smoke rocks, Joe Rogan.
yeah. There's something you don't know about me, Joe Rogan.
I smoke rocks.
But yeah, I mean, I don't remember who asked it what they typically look like, but they typically look like people that have serious problems in life.
Like basically, you're homeless. Homeless.
Yeah, homeless, drug addicted, such like that.
Fun, classy folk.
That's what they typically look like. There was once they didn't proposition me, but this was in just south of Dallas, where this like 90s Honda Civic pulls up, and these two, and they were like rather attractive black girls, get out of the car and they start knocking on doors. And I guess that was like their pimp, whatever.
Hey, shouty.
Hey, shouty. Hey, white boy.
Boy, white chocolate. Yeah.
Want to see what I can do with this mouth?
I like it. Holy shit. Good stuff.
Shit. But all right. So if we can come full circle through this, we're flying through right now. If we can come full circle right now, I wanna hear your guys' input right now on where we are right now in this country, right? And it's a weird time. It's a weird time. Like I said it before, it's not gonna happen in my lifetime. Yet here we are, right? Where do you see us in? Okay, let's be serious. Where do you see us in 60 days?
60 days? I see
so
us.
So you just come June 1st. Where do you see us?
I see us probably in the same spot we are right now. It might be a little better depending on how things are going. How we see. They said this peak is happening next week, supposedly. This crazy peak in this country. If everybody keeps on with this lockdown and we keep away from everything, I feel like we could probably kill a lot of the spread in 60 days, in my opinion, from how I'm seeing like declines and this and that. Who the fuck knows? From what I'm seeing a little bit, I can't take what I hear from China at all. Like they're reopening shit, but I still think that's kind of fucked up. It's a little too soon. So in 60 days, I still see us locked down, if not partially locked down. I see our economy pretty fucked unless they change some more shit or bail out some more crap for everybody. I think it's gonna be a little fucked up. I feel us all being bored as shit. We're gonna be on here quite a bit, even more, talking about this every fucking other day, giving our day-to-day to it. But I feel like come like June 1st, we may be like closing down the lockdowns if everybody actually does what they're supposed to and just social distance themselves and, stay clean and try to avoid getting caught with this shit and spreading it. I feel like there's still gonna be a lot more loss. There's been a lot of tragic loss. It's fucking horrible. Well, that's my opinion of it. I think, we're still gonna be kind of where we're at, and it hopefully be dying down by then. That's what I think. I think it might die down by then, but I don't know. It all depends.
I imagine it that I think in the next 60 days, I, I think as soon as the number of cases starts declining, I see them because the economy is a great concern. And the one thing I hate about all this is that you can't talk about the economy and all of a sudden it means you want people to die. It's like, well, no, because if the economy crashes, that's what it's going to result in anyways. But I see them being a little concerned about the economy to the point that as soon as the numbers start going down a little bit, they're going to loosen those restrictions way too quickly. And, COVID-19 could easily make a bounce back if they don't, do things right and say, this needs to be as low as we could possibly get it, and not jumping the gun on loosening the restrictions and letting everything come back. But even like Dr. Fauci, the Trump guy in his administration, he even said that this could very well become a seasonal thing, that it's going to die down in the summertime and it's going to come back in the fall.
Right. That's we're talking minimum 6 months, but like 12 to 18 before we see a vaccine.
Yeah.
An actual plausible one that could actually work. Yeah.
But even the vaccine thing, I find to be dubious because the virologist that me and you talked about on Rogan's podcast, that they had the same sort of outlook for SARS and MERS, where when it was happening, they were so crazed about getting a vaccine, but as soon as the virus died down, all effort to make a vaccine died down. And it could very well happen with COVID-19. As soon as the cases died down, we're going to say, all right, well, we're fine now. We don't need a vaccine, and all work on it is going to cease.
Right, because, natural immunity to it, like once you get it, if you do get it, you're asymptomatic, like a lot of people are, then you become immune to it, or you haven't survived it, you become immune to it. And it's sad that people that have it and are dying, no fucking chance for them, obviously, because they're dead. But it could work out that way too. And it might be like, a seasonal thing, which is fucked up.
But even
I'm actually hoping they go on. Sorry.
No, even the people that are dying from it has evolved, because first it started out with just the elderly, and then it went into people that are immunocompromised, and then we're seeing cases of people that are dying that are young, healthy, not immunocompromised, and it just takes them out.
Yeah.
So
it's fucked up.
But I think still, they're still learning about the virus, though.
Yeah, it's still we're way early, man. We're so early into this shit.
Right. This is still the beginning stages, even though it's been, for the U.S., I mean, globally, it's been several months now, but they're still just learning about the virus.
Right.
And what it could be, its Achilles heel, and what could help, and who it affects and how, because now it seems like everybody's fair game. Yeah. Whether you're healthy, whether you're not, whether you're overweight like me, obviously. You
look good, buddy. Don't worry about it.
This is not summer weather, and I live summer territory, so I'm gonna have to start losing this stuff.
Well, but it's not funny, but it's in a way you can giggle a little bit about it. Is that how the government will say, okay, well, 30 days until this. Yeah, right. That's how I felt too. A little smoke, in my face. No, but so how the government says, okay, here 30 days until this point. 30 days until this point, because that would be a lot. That's a lot easier than for them to say, well, we have no fucking clue.
Well, yeah, they're never gonna say we have no fucking.
Yeah,
even though they are saying they have no clue. They're saying they have no clue in like the most gentle way.
Oh yeah, because really I guarantee that 90% of the population of the world knows they have no fucking clue.
Well, right? The government had no before this, but you're right though. They have to, for the people that are ultra sensitive, they need to give those kind of timelines. Otherwise, if they say, you know what, we just have to see what happens, people are probably going to freak out a lot more.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Because they can sit there and go, well, okay, we can go through a 30-day trial every time to a certain point, right? Before you before 100% of the population understands that they're full of shit. But when you get to that certain point, they can sit here and keep going when they can get to April 30th. Okay, so like Doug Ducey, he'll say again, he said April 30th, right?
Yeah.
Trump says Easter. All right. Okay. Bullshit. April 30th. Let's put it there. Right. We get to April 30th. I personally believe that they'll say, okay, it escalated. Blah blah blah. They might be withholding information from us. They can bring up a numerous amount of things that can really impact us in a certain way, and they can say, okay, well, it's going to be another 30 days. We're going to come when we come to the end of May 30th is our deadline. That's where we are. And that almost in a way, in a weird sense, kind of brings us a sense of, for some of us, it brings us a sense of, relaxation almost. It's kind of going, okay, there's an end in near. There's an end in near. But if they get to May 30th and they say, okay, well, June 30th, this is where we are. That's where 95% of us in this country sit there and go, I told you, I knew it, I could feel it before. There is definitely a way that they're lying to us, for sure. There's no way that
I'm going to tell you, I agree with that, and I think that even at the end of April, if they extend it even more, you're going to get a lot more restless people.
Yes.
People are going to get a little nuts. I'm restless right now. By the
end of this month, people are going to start getting restless.
Yeah,
I'm
already, dude. We're 20-something days in for ourselves over here. Locked in here. I mean, we were a week before our state did our little order. We locked ourselves in, and it's fucking nuts. Like I'm losing shit a little bit. I get out to go grab some stuff every now and then. That's like the freedom of getting out. It's the whole thing of being trapped. I mean, even though I work out of my house anyway, the fact that I can't do it or can't get to the things, it does. It's the whole, like, you're like a teenager being grounded. It's fucking horrible. Now you're doing that with a whole country and a whole world,
Right.
People are going to get fucking nuts. And what is it? I don't even know what fucking day it is. The 6th right now when we're recording this. I can't imagine another 20-some more days of that. Like, it's going to get fucking rough. Like, it's getting rough in my house already. So, like, we're almost
both you guys have a much better idea of that than I do, because, like I said earlier, being on the road, I'm insulated from that. I go, as I need to, and it wasn't until I got home here on Friday, I think it was. And it's just starting to dawn on me, because I'm like, oh, wait, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's right. I can't get this. I can't get that. That's closed. I can't go to take care of that.
Yeah, I wanted to run to Walmart or Target, pick up. No, can't do that. There's super long lines over there. This is going on.
Right. It's
the only thing I do is go to Cabela's and pick up my gun. That's about it.